Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Do you understand what you're dealing with here? This is Blaster from Thunderdome. He has the mind of a child. He is a retard. He doesn't understand what he's doing. He doesn't understand what he's saying. Therefore, you're picking on this. You're thinking it's a trophy for beating him. And the level of insults you people level at him, that is a fraction of what we do to him in private. I mean, this motherfucker Velcros his shoes on, and he still crosses them so they don't come undone. So do you think he's bothered by you? No, I'm more bothered that I have to roll out of bed and defend his retarded ass. And then you cowards block me after 4 seconds because you can't handle the pushback. So enjoy your achievement for dealing with a man-child like this. Congratulations. See, we were just talking about before we got in here moments in streams you wish you recorded, and Devil knows this one. I found this one last week when I was editing something out of Roundtable, obviously because of the background there, and I got to keep it. Now I know it makes me laugh. You know, welcome to Mellow Mondays, everybody, where we hope you can come on in here and relax and forget about all the shit going on in the world right now, because that's what we want to give you some relaxation, some chill time, some nerd time, and some discussions. But I'm going to admit this right now. I have no real plan tonight. I got nothing. I got a little bit. After that, we're going to have to hope and pray that we somehow find our way through it. I'm joined by two fine gentlemen here. Mr. Bug. Welcome, Bug. Is this your first time on Mondays?
I think this might be my second or third time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought so.
I mean, you're usually you're regular on Natural 20. I'm not sure if I haven't heard it been on Mondays yet. So yeah, all right. Well, how you doing, Bug?
Oh, I've been doing good, being a little chilled out. Playing some games. I decided to take a crack at Cyberpunk again, and I was playing that and played the DLC, and it was pretty good. Although I had like one tiny little thing that kind of made me a little bit sad about, because like they give you this new character, right? Mm-hmm. That's like
we're talking about the DLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they give you this new character who's like this, who sets up the whole thing. Like she is your reason for going into this new mission and all this purpose. And as you're going through along it, you get a lot of scenes with her, and it's the chemistry between V, your character, and her is so great. The voice actress is real good. The character design is awesome. Like all these good scenes. I do not get the romance option. I don't get
Oh, no. That's bullshit, dude. I hate it when they freaking do that.
It's weird, and I thought it was an isolated incident, but there's another character, and it seems like when I think about it, all the scenes that happen, it almost felt like there was gonna be a romance, but they took it out last second, because like there's like a bit where I'm meeting with this other person, and there's like a dance scene that goes on, and I'm thinking, okay, this would be the part where like the prompt where I make out with this chick would happen, right? But no, that nothing happens with it. And with the other character, Songbird, the main person, I literally pinpointed the exact scene where I was pretty sure some form of like the romance scene would occur, and I'm thinking like in my mind it's like, oh yeah, that's how it would go down. Like, oh yeah, it'd be totally trippy and weird, but it would fit with the world of Cyberpunk and all this stuff, and work so well with the characters. Nothing happens. I'm like, really? So so that was nothing. So that was pointless. That was fun.
Sucks.
I love not having options to romance things. It's like, it was bad enough you deny me the right to romance Rogue, but now I don't even get the option.
I hate it when they do that in games. There are many games in the past where it's why can't I do this here? Why can't I do that? Romance there. I mean, people malign Mass Effect. What was that? What was the fourth one? Shit,
Andromeda?
Andromeda. Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, I was never so angry at it. I mean, I came to it late. It had already been out for a while when I got around to it. So it was all the bugs were fixed. So my experience going into it was not an utter piece of shit. But you have this. I don't know who's played it. Your navigator in your ship in that one is a hot Scottish chick, but she's gay.
Oh yeah.
And of course, my first playthrough, I'm playing a dude, and every other chick in the ship is Ugo City. This is, I mean, Mass Effect Andromeda, along with, and as much as I love it, Dragon Age Inquisition, that was the early points of, hey, we're gonna Ugify all hot chicks in the game. We're just gonna Uggo. We're gonna Uggo
that whole like you can't romance the one character because you chose the wrong one. I remember bumping into that in Cyberpunk when I tried to romance like one of the other women, and I'm like, man, it's like I'm trying all the tricks here. It's like nothing's happening, and then I have to get told by a friend like, oh yeah, you can't romance that character because she's only into chicks. I'm like, wow, I love that I spent like hours of my time doing all the side missions for her just to get that going. It's like, well, that sucked.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of fucked up because I know from playing Dragon Age, you can, if you play, like in the second one, I think you have to play dude, right? Or can you make him a girl in the second one, the main character?
You can switch genders in the second one.
I can't I can't remember enough about that part.
You can, yeah.
But if you're a dude, any one of the guy characters in the whole game who are your friends, your allies and stuff will turn gay for you. If you start romancing them, they'll just become gay. Doesn't matter if they're straight, they'll become gay. So why is it that if they're gay, you can't turn them straight? If it's so fluid that you can just be like, I'm straight today and now I'm gay, why can't you be gay today and then straight the next day? But I guess
they did the same thing in Inquisition. Iron Bull, he giant horny ladies man will go gay for you if you want that. Him and his man titties.
It's just so ridiculous because it's like, oh, like every other character will go gay or bi, whatever the hell you want to pick it. But it's like as soon as you're like the one woman there, it's like, oh, you can't do nothing. It's like, nope. It's like that's fun. And then the DLC is like, well, you're not even gonna get the option. It's like, we'll give you all the scenes and the chemistry and all this good writing and character designs, all this good stuff, but you're not gonna get it. Nope.
Yeah.
It's like, really? I really was like, I really fell in love with this new character and I loved the story, but no, you denied me of that. That was fun. But beyond that, I enjoyed the DLC and the story to it. Just a nice thing to play while I'm killing time till Spider-Man 2 pops up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got 3 weeks to that. It's a busy gaming time. And I actually played a game this afternoon. I haven't played a game in weeks. And I actually went back to Armored Core 6 this afternoon. Once I had videos prepped, house chores done, the day set, and I took them, come play it. And I still couldn't beat that freaking chapter 4 end boss. Although I think I stumbled onto a strategy right at the end when I decided to stop, because I got the farthest I'd ever gotten on the second half of the fight. So I might be able to finally get past that one and put Armored Core 6 to bed. It'd be nice. Devil, how you doing?
Good. Happy to be here. It's funny, the opening with Dermy and you talking about how he's a man-child is funny because when you say Master Blaster, he doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. He probably seen there going, he's calling me Master Blaster. That sounds so cool. That's so. And until you say he's a big man-child, then it occurs to him, oh crap, he's actually insulting me.
The realization kicks in.
I mean, you see, I'm automatically going to think everybody's going to know the reference to Beyond Thunderdome. I feel like everybody's going to know that. And then we get into last night when we thought Dermy was going to be on the show and realized he hasn't seen a single Stallone movie, which means you're probably spot on. He probably never saw Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Master Blaster, that sounds so cool.
He's the mind of a child. Well, Is he still feeling sick?
No, I think he didn't mention anything. He's been talking on the thing.
Yeah. Well, if he comes in here, we'll give him his usual shit. How you doing, Chad Hale? And how did the Chad Hale, a goddess legioness, one of my mods, one of my regulars. Who is the redhead? Oh, well, that would be one Nami from One Piece post time skip, where her breast doubled in size and she grew her hair out. So that is Nami, and that's Nami at 18, 19. So she's okay. Oops, she's all right. It's okay. It's okay to ogle.
Yeah, got the Power Girl treatment.
Oh well. Listen, Oda always drew the big boobs, but hey, Nami was still. Hey, it's fair. Nami was still going through puberty. It's just fine. She's still going through puberty.
Well, I mean, okay. Oda didn't have to worry. Oda wasn't trying to get like his editor's attention, unlike the Power Girl thing.
But there you go. Yeah, so that is Nami. So hail the goddess. Let's see who else is hanging out here. Hail Samuel. Hail Andy Akap. I'll get them if they come around. I will get them. I will listen. Like we always say, Dermy's our bitch. And if somebody listen, people could beat up on what they want, but when you cross the line in certain ways, yeah, then yeah, we abuse him, not you. That looked exactly like her in the game. And Isabella was still hot, except for the Private Dragon Age 2, everybody's hands looked like mummy hands in Dragon Age 2. It was really creepy. That was creepy. Good evening, Kale. How are you? And anybody else just chilling out, watching, hanging out. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Okay, so as I said, I've got one topic, and with both of you here, I think it's a good one to start with. I want to talk about AI art.
Oh boy.
I want to talk about AI art because I'm kind of neutral on the whole thing, considering my art is the art of words, and the AI and words is already a thing, and there's no stopping it. So I've kind of made my peace with it, and it's still a long way from actually threatening to actually compete with me in terms of writing creativity. But I noticed. You ever see Shad's Supergirl tweet?
Yep. Yeah. I clowned on him a bit for that one.
Okay, well, all right. So great. So we're gonna. Again, I'm opening this up because I have no idea what anybody's total thoughts on this, unless it comes across my timeless and that. So here's the thing. All right. So we know that Shad is a big proponent of the AI art. Some people are really hard on it, especially more towards, I would say, the Comicsgate end of things and the artists there. They're all it's. So I'm open for it. I mean, Bug, you already said you clowned on it. How do you feel about this thing? Because as I said, I'm kind of neutral on it because here's how I see. Make my statement like I feel like AI is a tool, and if you can master the tool, then have at it. So, where are you? How do you feel where Shad is? And where others are coming in, and do you think he's warranted all the hate he's getting right now from that tweet?
Well, okay. Well, as you said, AI is a tool, and that's an important thing. It is a tool. It depends on how it is used and how it is implemented. Like it's not inherently like a bad thing on just pure existence level. It's just how it's used. The way Shad is, it's like I get where he's trying to go for. He's trying to go for like that AI could be a tool to assist. But the problem is Shad's kind of going at it in a way that comes off very pretentious and like he tries to say, "Oh, this will be a tool that's going to be there. It's going to be coming. It's coming soon." It's not like, "Oh, this is a new tool that you could possibly use to aid in your work." It's get out of the way. This is the new thing. You are outdated scrubs. I am superior. And he just acts like he acts like Lofty on a bad day.
Wow,
pretentious,
that's deep cut. That's
yeah,
deep cut, dude.
It's just, it poisons the well for any discussions. Like, whether you're up for AI art or whatnot, it acting like a snob prick like that just poisons the well of any discussion, any debate that could be had. And that's sort of what was my initial starting point when he started on this AI thing, it's like, okay, you need to like word things better, because he started saying like, oh, well, I'm this AI art is better than any other artist, and it was like, I was like, oh, you need to not word it like that, because anyone that's gonna look at that post is gonna think, oh, you working with AI is better than someone who put the time and the effort into learning the craft of drawing and all this. It's like, that's what it's gonna look like, Shad. Like, you know, and that's just, and now
Yeah,
he's
I
like
mean
digging a
that
hole for himself in this situation.
I mean, that's why I'm asking, because considering I'm right down the middle on it, I'm seeing both sides of it. And real quick, Samuel, our good friend Samuel the Infamous, for $5, fire is a tool. Left unchecked, it'll destroy everything. And hey, yeah, we must be aware that AI, if we go sci-fi and becomes self-aware in any shape, way, shape, or form, that could be a problem. Because then how are we going to stop something that can think faster than us in milliseconds, and that'd be
Yeah,
rough.
I mean, AI is no joke. I mean, even
Yeah.
to bring it back to Cyberpunk for a bit, in the lore, they had to build they had to wall off an entire section of the internet just to keep the scary AIs from like wrecking havoc. It was that bad there, so
Yeah.
don't mess with it.
Yeah, but so I mean, it's a tool, and like anything, it should be respected. I mean, Devil, you use, and Samuel, thank you for the $5. Devil, you use AI as to like fine tune your memes or the some thumbnails for Ballbusters, right?
Yeah, I use it. I think that it's hard to, because I get where people are coming from. If you're an artist and you've put work in, you're getting better, you're training yourself and stuff, and then this AI can just do what you do quicker and stuff. Not so much in right now, but eventually it will get better. And yeah, I could see where that would be frustrating, but I think it's like with anything, you can't stop the march of progress, essentially. Uh, so I think fighting against it and railing against it isn't going to win. What you need to do is try to be one of the people who figure out how to use it and how to, for your purposes. But no, I do agree. You shouldn't be like a zealot about it. You shouldn't be like, oh, you better use AI, and like just like Bug was saying, have a discussion, because people on both sides have legitimate things behind it.
Yeah, and like a lot of my issues, like I've come from a perspective with the artists, because I've worked with a lot of them, because I've commissioned a lot of them to do stuff, and I see a lot of their viewpoints and their spots, because it's a little scary, especially for the people that do commissions, because like sometimes it's just like, hey, it's tough trying to get some work out there, and then you got some AI robot that's gonna do this like lickety split in like 2 seconds, and like, granted, yeah, I can't really do real good stuff now, but as always, it evolves, it adapts, they update the program, and like, that's a concern. And I'm all for a tool being used. Like, how it's implemented is the most important part. But yeah, it's just a little dicey for me, even because like AI is just like one of those things where, especially in like the creatives, like comic book creators and all that, like they catch a whiff of that, it's like, nope, do not come at me with that shit, And I can understand the sentiment. I mean, with because I'm trying to make my own comic book, and like the way I wound up designing my characters was like, I didn't use AI at all, because just wasn't at the time, it wasn't useful. So what I would do is I would just like go to Photoshop, and I'd start like taking a bunch of designs and like cobbling it together into something I wanted, just as like a reference, like my concept, because I'd like to have visual stuff to put there, and also I'm kind of terrible at explaining things to people. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna cobble something together, and I have it there. That's my reference. I take it to the artist, and I'm like, okay, here's the thing I want it to look like. I definitely am up for you helping me clean this up and make it look like it's not something I made in like a backyard clinic,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I understand that. For me, like I said, my art is writing. That's my art. And AI writing is a thing. It's being used. It's not sophisticated, and I'm not afraid of it. But I also know that it's gonna have a place in the future for help
It's
for
gonna
getting
get
things done.
it'll get there eventually. Like
Yeah.
Well,
But let me finish. But thing is, when it comes to the art stuff, when the art, like the picture art, when I think about the AI stuff, term and versus an artist, my thoughts go around cover art, insert art, because when I think about a book, and in the end, I would still rather have an artist do my cover art for a book
yeah.
than an AI, because Bug, you say you're not good at giving a description. I am good at giving a description of exactly how someone looks in my head and how I put it on the paper. So that's not a problem for me. So I feel I could easily sketch out in words what they look like, and I'll get what I want from an artist. And also finding that artist have that specific look. Yes, AI can craft a look, but sometimes you want to have a style, and you can find that artist with the style. And also, in my opinion, it doesn't hurt, and now we can expand the conversation, it doesn't hurt to make a relationship with people who
Oh,
could do these types of
definitely.
things.
I totally get that because I have a relationship with a number of the artists that I've worked with. I mean, my profile picture right now, I got that from hiring an independent comic creator to make this thing for me, and through that, I got a nice little connection. You know, like I met him. I've reading his books. It's really
Mhm.
good stuff. We have conversations on Twitter now and then. You know, it's like a relationship is made. I have another connection with a lot of my other artists that I hire to make stuff. You know, and it's real nice. You know, like you're not gonna get that with like AI. You know,
Yeah. But
um,
go ahead, Devil.
I was gonna say it. I agree that it's a choice on like you said, you want to have an artist do your cover art, but self publishing, there are people who they just can't afford to hire an artist to do
Exactly.
all the different photos. But it's just like our guy there doing Island in the Stars.
Mhm.
The thing that really sold us on it wasn't just the pitch they were giving in the video, but all those AI generated photos they showed of their
Mhm.
ideas. They
Yeah.
couldn't have done that on the budget they have without using AI, because to have an actual artist do all those pictures they showed would literally be probably hundreds
Thousands.
of thousands. Yeah,
Yeah.
at
I
that
mean,
point.
you went right to where I was going to do. Then on the other side, as self-publishing, when it comes time, if let's say the channel is not where I would really want it to be able to fund a to pay an artist to give me something that I want, because basically I have a couple of ideas for a couple of scenes from the book that I want to be on the cover, but I might not necessarily have the money to pay an artist, or even to give somebody who's looking for a shot enough of a payday that they require to do that. So the other side of it is an AI artist is a less expensive option, and if they are using the tool to fine tune it, then it's not such a bad thing the first time out of the gate. At the same time, I feel as though, and Devil, you are a great proof of it. When it comes to making thumbnails, AI is awesome. It makes fantastic thumbnails for us YouTubers when we're trying to make something look attractive. If somebody's scrolling by it, you look something that looks either silly or funny as hell, and nobody's asking an artist to draw a thumbnail, and so I like that is good. But then and then in another area to think about this, and this is where I feel AI has, in my opinion, the best range as a tool when we're talking graphics design in terms of video games and full on animation for movies, TV shows. That's where I think as a tool, it really is one of the best growing options, because then you're really gonna be able to fine tune the stuff, maybe get even farther away, or I'm gonna phrase that, close the gap of the uncanny valley even more. when it comes to something. I feel like that's a direction that I'm not so afraid of it being for lack of a better term, running rampant, because that's something that can be done. And lo and behold, for people again doing our Iron Age stuff, it could be a useful tool and not so expensive, perhaps.
Yeah.
But AI is a thing, and I don't think it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I feel and I understand. I mean, I don't think Shad is a bad dude. I don't think Shad. I don't know the guy, but I don't think he's a bad dude. I've watched him on enough stuff. And I hope that he isn't being as aggressive as bug season being, because that would be a bad move.
That's kind of been my main deal with it. It's he's digging his heels into this, and from what I've seen from just his reactions to it, and like people, dogpiling him on it, and it's kind of like, well, because his latest post was like, okay, here's the AI art of Supergirl I did, and now here's like another one with 6 months more experience, as he says. And, well, he goes on that whole thing about like how his quote unquote skills are improving and all that, but I've looked at that and that didn't really. The way he words it in this very snobbish way, like, oh, I am.
All right. Would you say
better.
it's a layman trying to apply artistic vocabulary to something he doesn't fully understand?
Yes, because he may know weapons and he can write a book, but like this, I feel like this is out of his wheelhouse that he should be diving into. Like he's trying to act like he's a fucking expert to something that he doesn't have any teeth into.
Well, I hope that that's not the case. I really do, because I work very hard in everything I do not to overstep my knowledge of something and start talking out of my ass, because I don't want to be left open to that kind of criticism. Oh, you're talking about this like you know it, but you don't really know it. And that would be a shame, because again, Shad's a dude. I've seen enough of his interactions that he's not a malcontent.
Yeah,
so
is
sometimes
not usually his thing.
What I think he's so enthusiastic about it that it perhaps it's just clouding his perception, and I don't think he may realize he's coming off in the manner you're perceiving. I think he just doesn't get it, and also it doesn't help. And again, this is the thing about social media. No matter how good a person you are, social media eventually brings out some of the worst in all of us, myself included. I mean, I will get very salty because I want to zing somebody or dunk on somebody in a tweet or something like that, just because I've seen it piss me off. Social media makes us behave in ways we maybe wouldn't necessarily do, and it's very easy when dealing with Twitter. In my almost, I'm a child on Twitter. It's only been almost a year since I got on there, but it's very easy to get caught up in something, especially if you go to read the replies and this and that. It's very easy to do that and get swept away with it and maybe go down a direction of behavior you don't normally or intend to necessarily want to do. I mean, I'm honestly cutting a little bit back on social media, not because that's happening to me, but because, and I think that this is what's made Twitter lately really stupid. Just maybe shift gears a little bit. We know that I like to troll the stands on Twitter. It's amusing to me. It gets a laugh out of me, and also it's kind of just, okay, can I get this retard to block me? But in the past week or so, I've cut back for the simple fact that all these retards, and I think a lot of people doing it, they're just doing everything they can to get engagement, so they can get that Elon money. That's what it feels like to me.
It's not probably not the. Probably a few of them are definitely trying for it, or some just are trying to seek really attention that they never gotten from their fathers.
some of these stands are like, here we go. This scene from this Disney Star Wars, this scene from that Disney Star Wars. It's just the same kind of phrasing over and over again. And they post pictures. They're clearly retarded and stupid. But it struck me last week going after them. I'm giving them what they want. I'm giving them engagement. And it took the fun out of it.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like, it's, although, like, I mean, I'll clown on a stand every now and then, but I don't go in the you go stand hunting. Like, you go out there, you get the hat and the gun, and you're like, okay, well,
I go if they come across my regular scrolling. I'm not seeking them out. It's just, oh, you're here, you are. You've particularly irked me. I'm gonna go after you. But now it's just they're all doing the same thing, and they're not even gonna read what I put up anymore because it's just all for the massive engagement.
Yeah, it is what it is there. Damn,
I mean, I like your morning posts. You show me titties in the morning, and I like that.
Yeah, well, I that's just I just do that for like just pure enjoyment of titties and art. You know, it's just like, hey, I just go like one day. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take like 2 hours out of my life to scroll through DeviantArt and grab all these pictures, and then just schedule like about 2 weeks worth of posts, and then there we go. You know.
Yeah, I mean, part of the game is sometimes when I say it, it's like, okay, do I know these characters? Yes, no. That's my momentary game. Do I know these characters? Okay, if I do, yay. If I don't, I still like titties.
So. Yeah, you know, everyone wins.
Everyone wins, but I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of Elon, buddy, I haven't.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've got my last Elon check, which was $17. Which was considerably shorter than the first one I got, which admittedly it was higher because this was right around the Tumblr Superman times, and I raked in about $220 off that.
Oh, you were stirring the pot with that one.
I did stir the pot because I was the one that posted the infamous Lois jumping off the building clip, and that one went wild.
I mean, here's the problem. I don't know how to stir the pot properly.
I don't know either. It just happened. It's just weird. Like I've done it before, but it's never intentional like that. It was just like it just happened. Like it was just like I was like, okay, I'm gonna post stuff because it was a normal day, you know. Considering it was like okay, because I normally post stuff, it'll get a little traction here or there, you know. But that one clip really got around the block, you know, because it was a big moment. And I remember one person giving me grief because I put it in one of my replies. It's like, look, I'm just, like, I can already feel the discourse, and someone like was actively blaming me for the discourse. It's like, you're the one that posted the video, and I'm just like, if it wasn't gonna be me, it was gonna be somebody else because it's Twitter.
That's the thing. Sometimes we're happy.
And you know what the response was? What? The response was, "Well, you're the one with the most popular. You're the popular one with the video." And it's just like, so you would say this to Joe Schmo who would have posted. It's like, what's my problem?
That's bullshit because anybody can go viral at any second.
Yeah, it was just like, sorry, it would happen to be my turn to share it. Yeah. I mean, it's like, what did I do? I didn't write the damn thing. I didn't make them do the scene that I'm showing. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just posting the video, and I post like my 2 cents at it. I'm just like, there you go. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry that your brain cannot fathom this. You know?
Yeah. I both like and dislike being on X Twitter at this point. I like it where it opens easy communication for all of us. I now understand the ease of DMs. I resisted it for a long time, but it really is easy to make sure we all get in touch with each other for something real quickly. But it's also Twitter is such a waste of fucking time. I mean, I'm not going around replying to things. I actually try to use it to get ideas for things sometimes. Is something happening? Do I see a post for a video? Can I use this in a video, this and that type of thing? But I hate it when I end up dicking around for an hour continuing to scroll. Granted, it's more along I'm waiting for something else to happen. I'm literally killing time until this moment where I need to go do something. But I hate it that I do it. Let me be honest. I hate it
Yeah.
that I do it. It's not I don't feel good about myself at all when I dick around Twitter like that. I really don't.
Yeah, no, I totally get that because it's like it makes you feel like it's like, man, I could have spent this doing like something that was a little bit more productive. Like I feel
Well,
you there because I've had
yeah.
moments like that where it's just
And
like you're doing something and then you're like you feel guilty about it because you're like, oh
it's not like I've been doing anything. It's basically let's say I just finished a video. I finished getting a video together. Everything's done. I'm waiting. It's rendered. It's uploading. I've made my thumbnail. Okay. It is now. Let's say it's X30 in the afternoon. I've got a half an hour before I really have to go move on to something else. So I will sit here and I will check. First, I'll check messages because my messages are all fucked up. I have to actually go into the message tab and see if anybody's left me a message. Now I don't have my little doodad doesn't work on the bottom of the screen anymore. It's gone on my browser. It's just gone. So I do that. I check messages, see if anybody said anything, need anything, or if we're beating up on Dermy, usual. And then I will just start scrolling for two reasons. One, like I said, I'm either looking for an idea to go with another idea or get an idea for anything for a video. I'm looking to see what any of you are doing if you're going to make me laugh with something. I'm looking for some weird video I can maybe use to make fun of a Dermy with. Again, this is the norm. But then when those few things have passed and I just kind of keep going and going and going, and then the half an hour turns into 45 minutes, like, shit. God damn it. Now I gotta stop this. This is not good. I hate it. I just hate it. It's a part of my life now. It's part of the waste of time routine. Instead of just dicking around on websites looking for shit, now it's okay. What bullshit's going on here on Twitter? And maybe I'll see something that's interesting. I'm corrupted. I don't like it. It's terrible. I was pure of heart once upon a time. Now I'm not. Oh boy.
it's just funny how things go like that. You really find out like the level of limits people have on some things.
Mm-hmm.
I got some grief because there was that new show Gen V, the spin-off show from The Boys.
Oh, I don't even watch The Boys. Do you guys watch The Boys?
I watched the 3 seasons. Yeah, it was first season was real good. Second season started getting shaky. Third season was like barely hanging by a thread, and I tried to watch the spinoff because I was like, okay, maybe I'll just see what it is. Like maybe I could check it out for a review, do a video on it. Maybe I didn't make it past 2 minutes because they were doing like gross out shit that
I heard a couple of things from it that it's just
the I just couldn't do it. I was like, I don't like this because this is like very weird and creepy. It's just a little bit much. Plus, it was involving an underage character at that time.
Yeah,
I heard.
Yep, I know what you're talking about. I that has been explained to me, and I just went.
Yeah, and like, I got so many people going like, "Well, you like this show has like all these characters getting blown up." It's like, yeah, but it's all adults getting that. Like, the worst that a kid ever got in this show was like getting a broken arm because he got pushed off a roof. Like that's it. Like it was never this weird and creepy. It's like, oh, this is a normal thing. No, I don't care. It's weird. It's disgusting. I don't need to see that. Right. And I'm done.
Let me ask you this. I asked this to yesterday to Roundtable panel, but I'm gonna change its trajectory slightly because we've got people who already heard this discussion yesterday. But you guys can weigh in on that part of it too. Western entertainment right now, serious downturn. I clipped out that discussion. You can check out the video I put it today if you miss it on Roundtable. It's an edited version of what we talked about. But I feel like Western entertainment is going nowhere fast. There are a few things here and there. It's going nowhere fast. So I'll ask you guys the first part of it, and then I'll go to another. I just had an idea for another direction of this conversation. I mean, where's it going? Is it coming back at all? or are we really going off in other directions and legacy Western entertainment is going to be left behind?
It's really hard to say, like, because I don't know. It would have. I want to hope for it to get back on track, but and the strike was a nice little thing to have, and it seemed like things were kind of healing, even if small stuff. But now, I don't know that those writers are back on. Granted, because of the situation, but how there's not going to be enough jobs for these guys, and they're going to start doing less.
Changes nothing.
Doesn't really change a whole lot in terms of the quality. I mean, there'll probably be less shows that they'll put out because
why it doesn't matter. Jar Jar is still out there. Greg Berlanti's still out there. All of the ones that are actually in charge of these shows are still out there.
Damn, what was the last thing Jar Jar even did lately?
Successfully nothing.
Successfully nothing. Some saying he's being I want to say blacklisted, but he's not invited to the party anymore.
I mean, yeah, because the last thing I heard that he was doing that Superman movie with Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah,
and I kept an eye on that one the second I heard about
it. Hasn't been canceled yet.
It's in that weird, like, well, is it canceled? It's not canceled. I remember when James Gunn got asked about it, he could not have said that it was like a alternate universe, like, oh, it's Elseworld story. He couldn't say that.
He didn't cancel it.
Didn't cancel it, but he was quick to say, like, oh, it's not connected to my thing. Nope. Now I don't know if they're just silently canceling it or not. Who knows? Whenever we'll see how it goes.
The man stole $500 million from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, well, as Gary said, Warner Brothers is one of the most dumbest fucking companies in all of existence. They stumble into like successes. I mean, Joker was just a stumble because like they didn't care about it. It was like a $15 million movie or something like that. I don't know what the budget was.
But no, it was $50 million, I think.
Okay, a $50 million movie.
Yeah,
and it winds up making $1 billion out of just wow.
I mean, it wasn't even. It was an alternate script too. It wasn't even actually meant to be the Joker. It was just something they monkeyed with, and
like it was just a story about a mentally broken man going down a dark path, and they tweaked it a bit to make a Joker. And like no one was really expecting anything of it. They were just like, "Oh, okay, this is a interesting move, I guess." And then as soon as like all those news outlets were trying to like say that this is going to cause the next like Dark Knight Rises shooting.
Yeah, and it was a Frozen thing where people got killed. It was a screen of Frozen.
So, yeah, a Disney movie caused it. It's like, makes you think about The Little Mermaid, how people were getting the fist fights in the movie theaters for that one.
Constantine 2 is still happening?
I remember there was news about that. Like it was supposedly happening, and then it got canned, and then I don't know.
I don't know about get canned. I just stopped hearing about it, and it didn't make any news anymore.
Yeah,
but
so trust anything with the DC stuff.
But JJ just got his contract renewed with Warner Brothers, so he's still there, as are many others. So the writing and the people writing, it's going nowhere. And I said a lot of my piece yesterday, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I feel like legacy Western entertainment, I don't know if it can ever come back. I just don't. Because they don't know how to do it anymore.
It's a combination of they don't know how to do it, and it's because of the people they get to do this stuff. Like, for example, that new Castlevania show that popped up. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of those clips that popped in.
Oh, I've seen the clips, but I as soon as I saw what it was going to be from the trailers and the previews, and I thought, yeah, I got through the first one, even though season 3 was trash. It saved itself in season 4, and I'm not happy they're skipping right to Richter and skipping over Simon. I'm really not interested in this. And then here comes more race swaps. Here come more this and that, and the dialogue is garbage. And it's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
out.
the dialogue. I didn't bother watching it because I was scrolling through Netflix, and you know how Netflix will do that thing where whatever you're highlighted on, it'll play like a clip or a trailer of the thing. So it played like a clip, and it was of all the hunters like appearing at this vampire party, and I just like looked at it, I'm just thinking like, this doesn't feel like that other show I was watching. This felt too CW like for me. It just didn't feel right. Like,
CWification is a thing.
yeah, like because it was like, oh, here's these like young attractive-esque like characters going up against the monsters stuff, and it's like honestly this feels like a CW thing. And then of course there's that clip where the main guy, I guess, he's like oh, I thought I was gonna have this witty and cutting like dialogue to say to you before I kill you, but fuck it. And it's just like,
well,
okay,
that's the thing.
I'm kind of get tired of that.
Well, that's what that went on in the first Castlevania, and that was one of my major criticisms of it. There's
a thing about that though with because with Trevor, like that was sort of meant to contrast with all the other characters who were speaking, at least the first 2 seasons. Like it was nifty. It was like he was the exception to the rule, but then they kept making every character be like that, and it's no longer fun.
It's people, some writers who don't know how to write, and they don't know how to do edgy, and they think by cursing every third word makes it edgy. And that
it's not even just that.
It's your fuck every third word. I don't.
Yeah, fuck every third word, and it's also they love to be that like they can't like jump into like the stereotypes. Like I would have been fine with the witty stereotypical storyline. It's like these guys want to be self-aware. It's like, haha, you were expecting this type of him to have a witty like one-liner or something. It's like, yeah, but it's like, nah, we're not gonna do that. It's just the self-awareness is just I hate it. It's cringe to me. It's like I want to go back to like the buddy cop movies where like everyone had a cheesy one-liner. It's like, it's like diplomatic immunity. It's just been revoked. Like I want stuff like that where it was just didn't care. It was just fun. It was cheesy. You knew they were gonna have like a one-liner or a joke about that. Like when it, like in Predator 1, where Arnold literally stabs the guy. And he just goes stick around and he just leaves. I want more of that. I don't want the like, oh, you expected me to say this, but nah, fuck it, lol, JK. It's like, shut up.
Well, it's just that's the thing. Characters are only as good as their writers, as many say all the time. And if the writers don't have real world experience, they don't have writing experience, they don't know how to tell a story, they're just gonna write what they know, and they know modern day colloquialisms, they know modern day jargon, and you can't create franchises. And that's where I'm going to go with another part of this in a moment. You can't create a franchise. You can't prolong a franchise. You can't breathe life back into a franchise if you're just going to be modern. Because some things don't adapt to modern.
Like Robin Hood.
Well, the thing is you think by now they would realize that doing these focus groups, they're either doing them with the wrong people or they're getting false information. Because I'm sure they sit there and they go, what do you want out of this? They get a bunch of moms together and say, what do you want out of your kids' movies? And I'm sure they sit there and say, oh, I want modern day this and I want that. I want to see, I want to have transgender shit brought up in this cartoon movie for my children and shit. And then the movie fails. At some point, you think they'd be like, let's stop bringing back those women or whoever are setting up these focus groups. You think they'd go to them and say, you know how you've been picking all these people? Yeah, don't do that no more. because they'll pat you. It's just like with Twitter. They'll pat you on the back and they'll say great things about you, and they'll send out tweets of how much they love your comic book. This is not Starfire or whatever the hell it was called and shit, but they won't go buy your product. And back pats don't pay bills.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Amazon had a thing about that where they were using like their focus groups to test and review their shows. It used to be like that, but then because I remember one of the shows they had, one of their originals was it was like a remake of a popular like baseball movie thing where like all the players were girls and stuff like that. Like the director was like, "Oh, I don't like that at all. Like I don't like that the people you got to test it are reviewing the show negatively," and then they just stopped. They removed the process entirely. And they stopped doing that now.
But like I said, they don't know who they're making this for anymore. And the people who get tapped to this, I mean, we all know who Mags Visaggio is. We all know.
Unfortunately.
We all know who Mags Visaggio is. This came across my view earlier, and I realized it was kind of relevant to what we're talking about right now. Mags wanted to make Connor Kent a trans.
Of course, because she can't help herself.
This isn't, I mean, right there. Since it's never going to happen, yes, I was going to make Connor Kent trans girl. I'll give you Skyrocket, my master plan for a story that never happened. This is creative garbage.
I'm honestly shocked that they actually stopped her from doing that.
Well,
I guess someone with a brain cell was like, "Yo, we're not doing that. We're already sinking bottom to the low." I mean, not even Batman's making money because we're writing garbage like events with him having a civil war with Catwoman for no fucking reason.
I mean, it's just, why do this? Why do this? Because they don't care about telling a story. They care about pushing an agenda. And that is why I wonder, again, I asked the question, can any of this right itself? Because, yes, this one got canceled, probably because maybe Zaslav got wind of it and said, "Oh, fuck no." And gave the word down and said, "You cancel this now." But there, for every one of these that gets canceled, even in this new writer's world era we're moving into with the strike over and the deal, 10 more have been greenlit. For everyone canceled, 10 more are greenlit because they don't learn their lesson. They don't realize that this is not what people want. People want the characters they know and love. They don't want to see them literally butchered in this case and turn into something that is not gonna sell. Because these people don't care about making money. I mean, making money. I want to say they're perfectly happy eating their cat food. And they want to destroy all these things for the sake of their stupid, ridiculous crusade for all this.
Yeah, and then they act surprised when they need to do like 5 Kickstarters to pay the rent.
Yeah, but so then I ask this: all this stuff we love is under attack. Some of it, many are going to argue, irrevocably destroyed, unable to be saved. Take what you like, hoard it, protect it, just show it off to others, but it's never going to be restored. Can Hollywood ever make anything new again?
It's I would like to say maybe, because there are some people that can make stuff, but they're very rare. Like you have, what was it, that new movie, The Creator? Like that guy's trying to do something new.
I hear a lot of mixed stuff on that though.
Yeah, like it's not like, but you can at least say it's an attempt at trying to be something different from the grain. You have Nolan doing stuff, to get people in. You have Scorsese, and you have all these other people that are trying to do stuff that are out of the norm. But I mean, those guys, they're old. I mean, Scorsese's like, what is he, like a fucking 100?
He's old, and he's got. I think he's going to do one more movie. And then again, I'm not the biggest Scorsese fan. And Scorsese has his genre. He has certain things he does. And Nolan, Listen, I am by no means a Nolan acolyte. I'm not a Nolan guy. Nolan, in my opinion, is an acquired taste. You either like Nolan or you don't. Personally, I could take him or leave him. I don't really care. I also don't play the game of X director does this, so I'm going to be excited about that for X director. I don't generally play my taste game that way. So I don't care about who directed it. If it's a good director, that'd be nice. If it's it sounds like a story or a project I like. But what I want to see is, are we going to get anything new? Are we going to get something that can be either hasn't been adapted yet and we adapt it properly, or are we going to get or it's just going to be reboots and revivals forever? Because One Piece only happened the way it did because the creator Ichiro Oda Sensei, is still alive and it's his baby, and he's not going to let it be destroyed. But there are a lot of things out there where maybe the creators are not that savvy, or they don't have control over their product anymore, and it's going to be turned into something else. So
wasn't that the case with the Cowboy Bebop? Like, the creator was still
Yeah.
alive, but he didn't have full control over it.
Yep, doesn't have control.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the big problems with it, because now, like, obviously, all these there's a lot of like stuff coming out, or at least announced they want to do movies or shows for. Like, they want to do a live action cyberpunk series, and like, when I first heard that, I'm like, okay, I want to know who's doing it, and I want to know if the guy who made cyberpunk is going to be there to have a hold on it and tell him, hey, I don't want you doing this thing, because that's not how that works. Because One Piece has proven it. You need the creator of it to be there to tell them
not get off the rails.
Yeah, you have a set path. You got to go from here to here. Like, I could maybe go for a little tweak here or there, but if it looks like this is gonna crash, I am not setting off on this, because that's the problem. You need control, because that's just the big thing. Otherwise, you get like crazy shit. You get like Netflix's whole thing. You get Snyderverse, because that was the problem with that stuff.
Well,
you let one guy go nuts on the whole thing, and
his vision. Here's the thing. That's why I'm not sold when a director does something, because I don't want somebody's vision of something. I want what I know. I want the thing that is timeless. To bring back to something I've talked about this week already, I want the thing that is timeless. I don't want you to give me your idea of it. And definitely, Zack Snyder's a guy who I don't want to touch. I mean, listen, people are going to say, "Oh, Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder's trying to do something new." Rebel Moon is a recycled Star Wars script that he couldn't get sold.
Yeah,
and I don't, and it's Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder has one shtick, and it's going to be the
and
I don't think Hollywood.
The thing with Zack was, like, you had to control him. That's where you got like Watchmen and 300, because you had a guy to hold him by the back of the head and just go, "All right, Zack, you're gonna do the thing, but if you go off on your little changes like you usually do, I'm gonna take you behind the shed and spank your ass." When you don't have control, you wind up with Sucker Punch or his DC movies. You wind up with that, because you don't have anybody telling him to like fuck off when he does something stupid.
I don't think Hollywood can create anything. I think the way we're going to have to see this is it's going to collapse, and you're going to have small studios that are into thinking of original ideas come forward and have to take up position, because I don't have any confidence that they can ever pull it back. And
I think the cancer is too deep. I think the cancer is you could burn something out and destroy a company completely and get rid of it, but the cancer's just the cancer lines are so ingrained, it will just move to some other part of the Hollywood body. Man, and it's a shame. Iconic things, MGM, it's owned by Amazon now. That hurt me when MGM got bought by Amazon. Fox Studios used to be 20th Century Fox until Disney destroyed it. Paramount's a joke now. and all the once great studios are just pictures on a screen to slap onto a crap movie made by people who don't understand the art form or the medium. And it's a shame. It's a
Yeah,
shame.
it's a shame, and I don't know. I would love for it to get back in there and go back on the track, but I'm not gonna hold my breath because sure you're gonna get some all right movies here or there that are good and decent. They're just like, hey, we're gonna be a story. There you go. You get Bullet Train, a movie I really loved and enjoyed because it's just like this is a story. All these characters on a train, done. There you go. Nothing crazy about it. There you go. That was a good movie.
Thing is this though, and I said this yesterday, so apologies if those of you in the chat have heard me already say this. I haven't had desire to see anything really in a theater for years. I make a couple of exceptions here or there, but most of the time I've been disappointed. The only time I wasn't disappointed in the past several years was when I went to see Mario, because I pretty much knew what was going to happen, and I was right. But I'm not pulled to go to the theaters anymore. And granted, again, I've laid out all the different reasons why: location, expenses. I don't have people to hang out with and go to movie theaters anymore. But it's just, but there's nothing for me to go see.
Yeah,
I prefer.
I can feel you there.
I prefer TV. I have a good collection. I can get anything I want, really, whether it's right or not. I can, and if I really like it, I will then get it for physical media. I will get a copy of it, but it's just not the draw for me. Isn't there anymore? I mean, granted, maybe I've been there for so long because I'm old as dirt that I've seen everything. I've done all this stuff that it's not a fresh new experience for me. And because people can say, "Oh, go touch grass." Yeah, I touched grass for a lot of decades. I'm okay sitting here in the comfort of my home and having my entertainment at the touch of my fingertips.
Yeah,
I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, I
And
definitely feel you was on theater stuff because I was kind of fading away off it for two, and it wasn't just wasn't like the quality of movies or anything like that at first. It was just like, well, the theater I have in town, because I only have one. It's kind of an old beat up thing. Truth be told, only has two theaters, and
oh, wow.
the chairs are just they're those old fold up ones where you have to sit in it to get in there.
Mhm.
And doing a theater thing, it's like anytime I went there, it was like, okay, I have to have a plan because it's like, well, you got to pick this showing, otherwise you're gonna wind up with a bunch of people bringing their toddlers, and it's gonna be loud and annoying. You gotta have this, and it's like, well, the movie's got to be worth it. And the last time I went to the theater was,
you just brought up the point. Worth it.
yeah, the movie has to be worth it, or I think it'll be it's worth the gamble. The last time I went to a theater was actually for the Robert Pattinson Batman, and that one I wasn't even 100% certain on when I went to buy, because for all I knew, the movie could have been hot ass for all I knew. And I walked out of that theater being like, okay, you know what? I enjoyed it.
Well, that's you bring the point though, worth it. And Jed made the same point yesterday when we had this discussion yesterday. Is anything worth it anymore? Is there anything coming down the pike that we really get excited for? I mean, a lot of people are excited for Dune 2, which is really just Dune Part 2, because it's still the same freaking story. He just cut it in half. But it's still just something that already exists. Dune has existed for over 50 years.
Yeah.
It's not brand new. And every other iteration, they only get so far and they never finish the story. So even if people like Dune 2 and they manage to get a third one, and he craps out an adaptation of Messiah. It's still something that's already been there. It's still something that is established, just has had different tractions of popularity over the decades. It's still not new when it comes to a movie production. And what else? Strike aside, take the strikes out of it. We know everything that was coming. We know everything that was coming. It's just gotten moved down the line a little bit. What's exciting? What's exciting?
I don't. I mean, nothing in the West at least. I mean,
I got plenty of anime movies I'm looking forward to, which are connections to series I'm watching right now, which is something the Japanese movie animation field that have decided sometime now. They started with Demon Slayer and Mugen Train, where they're taking arcs. And instead of making, you guys know how it was for decades. It was, we're going to make an anime movie based upon your franchise, but it's not going to be canon. It's kind of going to float above it. Inuyasha had movies like that. Inuyasha ones, you could sort of fit them in, but Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, all the big ones, they always had all these movies that never fit into the timeline. Some of them were good, but they never fit in. But now they're actually making movies that are arcs from it. Perfect example, Overlord 5. Well, technically it's just Overlord the movie, but it's technically Overlord 5. They're taking the next arc, making it a movie. And that's cool stuff. I'm excited for that. There's other stuff I'm excited for connected to shows I'm watching. So that's exciting. And also, there's always something fresh with anime every season. Always something fresh. Jay Frazier asks us, what film released in the last few years do you own on your Blu-ray shelf? That's an excellent question. Nothing new. The newest thing I'm going to get is Mario, because I want Mario on my shelf, but I don't have it yet. How about you guys?
Ooh. I haven't really bought a DVD or anything in a while because nothing's good. Good enough to actually need a physical copy.
it kind of really depends on some cases. There'll be the DC animated movies that they put out that are meant to go for direct to video. Usually how it goes, I'll keep my eye out, and because usually for some reason they always forget to lock the door, and someone runs off with a copy and they give it to Jack Sparrow almost a month or a week early before it's meant to drop. And I'll check it out, go see Jack Sparrow, see what's up. And then if I like the movie, I'll be like, well, I rather like this movie.
That's what I'll do. If I like it, then I'll get it.
Yeah, because
I treat it like I'm renting it. I've just rented it and I like it, and now I'm going to put it on my list. But honestly, I don't have. I mean, the closest thing to something recent that I got that I liked is Alita Battle Angel. That's the closest thing to something that was released in the past couple of years, and that's last decade technically. I don't.
Let's see.
I mean,
my most recent one was what was it? Oh yeah, it was John Wick 4.
See, I haven't gotten John Wick. I haven't even seen John Wick 4 yet.
Me either. I haven't opened it up yet.
It's not that I don't want to. I just haven't. I mean, I have John Wick 1 through 3 right there. So it's not like I don't like John Wick. It's just I haven't gotten to it. I mean, today, the latest thing I ordered things that are old. Like this arrived the other day. Frighteners. This is the last thing I got.
I love that movie.
I didn't know Peter Jackson directed it. I didn't know, and this has a director's cut in it too. It's got theatrical and director's cut. This is the 15th anniversary one, just arrived. So I'm gonna do this one next year for Halloween. We're gonna do this one on Halloween next October, because Jed and I have already filled up the Halloween slots for the rest of the month, so we can't do it. But I'm gonna do that next year. But yeah, so I mean, I have a list of things I'm buying, but it's old stuff. It's nothing new.
Yeah, it's mostly just hey, I want to have the preservation. This is I have a lot of the old classic James Bond movies. You know, I've bought the
Mhm.
the Pierce Brosnans, and I bought a couple of the Sean Connerys.
I got the last Brosnan movie that I had to upgrade from DVD last month. I've finished upgrading my James Bond collection for the most part. I got to get a couple more ones, but that's about it. That's it. Then I've got all I want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's just more like preservation of just stuff you like to have on hand, because it's like, yeah, sure, streaming's fun and all that, but it's like, yeah, well, you just want to keep that for that rainy day in case like they say, well, you're not gonna have it on here, or your internet.
Well, see, I've never believed in giving a streaming service my money just to rent something in perpetuity. I'd rather just own it. I guess you got to say, again, this is from last decade. I got 12 Monkeys complete series, but that's last decade. It's not even past couple of years. Yeah. And again, I'm only going to buy a TV series if it ends well. It has to end well. If it doesn't end well, I don't want to waste my time with it ever again.
Yeah,
I've gone down on it.
I remember like I still have what was it? Swamp Thing when they first put that out, like the new one. I bought the DVD because I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait for the thing to come out and then I'll just go watch it. But by the time I bought the thing and I was ready to sit down and put it in, I saw an article. It was like, oh, the show got canceled. And I'm just like, what the fucker? Like, so it's still in the plastic wrap. Like, I was like, well, what's the point of watching this?
That's why I don't buy something until it's done. It's completed. I thought,
in my defense, I thought it was like, hey, maybe a season 2 pop up, but then it's like, oh no, it's done. It's like, oh,
I got burned by that in the past, which taught me that lesson a long time ago. All right, yeah, okay. I have a popcorn maker in house. It's a silicone little bucket, and I can put the popcorn kernels in there, a little canola oil. I've mastered cooking it. I can get it to come out perfect because just put it in the microwave. Because I ain't buying microwave popcorn because that's just got a high fructose corn syrup in it, and I'm putting that in my body. But I haven't quite mastered the buttering because it's regular butter. I'm working on flavoring it a certain way, so I'm still working on that myself. Maybe I'll get an actual popcorn maker someday, but the little one I have works pretty well. It just takes time. One of the tricks is, though, you have to let the popcorn cool, and you have to let the butter cool. If you put the hot butter on the popcorn, it shrivels it. I learned that lesson when I was my early experimentation of it. Yeah, I don't have time to clarify the butter. I know exactly what it takes to clarify. I do not have time to clarify the butter. What I thought I could do at one point was get a spray bottle and put the butter in there, but I quickly realized that wasn't going to work. I never actually tried it. I thought about it a lot, and I thought, yeah, it'll clog it up. It will grow bacteria in there. You'll never clean that thing out. It's never going to work. So I'll figure it out someday when I have a better kitchen. My kitchen is shit.
Yeah,
this kitchen is built for people who don't cook. So I'm not even going to. But one day I'll make it work. I'll make it work.
It's kind of funny how that works sometimes. Like I remember because this was on. We did talk about this. I think one of the other Metal Mondays, which was like the fried cheese melt thing I brought up. Like how I loved ordering that at Denny's, but there's no Denny's here. And it got to a point where like, well, I'm gonna try making it myself. And for a while, it was a process. Like, how do I make it like look good and taste good and all this? And it's like, all right, figure it out. It's like, okay, make sure you have the butter the bread, get the right bread, and also don't flip the freaking thing wrong. Otherwise, cheese and mozzarella sticks are gonna fly out all over the place. So eventually, I had the big brain idea. It's like, wait, get a sandwich press. That you could just flip over on the burner and then just call it a day. Just sanity restored, and it was just like, there you go, perfectly folded in, all that stuff. It's like, just done. You know, mastered it to a science. All that trial and error, you know, and hair pulling.
Well, it is trial and error. I mean, listen, you guys know I used to be a chef. I have some things I learned on the job, some things I learned in school. But some things I did have to work out on my own, and one of them has been my journey with Asian cuisine, Chinese food. And for the longest time, when I was putting it all together, I would make the vegetables, then I make the chicken, then I would throw everything into what was working as my well, I was using a giant ass saute pan instead of a wok, so it was just kind of a halfway measure. But at one point, my results weren't working because when you got to make your sauce separately. You got to make your sauce separately, whatever sauce you're putting on there. And I was throwing it in there, and it just kept not working. And I kept realizing, why isn't it working? That's how they do it in the restaurant. I'm like, no, wait, you have to take a step away here. By throwing the sauce into the pan, it's breaking and it's just completely falling apart. Now everything comes out perfect because I keep the sauce separate. I put the dish together, then you apply the sauce. So it's those little things you learn through trial and error when you're doing this stuff. And it makes it, and it works out in the end. It works out in the end. I had sesame chicken tonight. It was delicious. I loved it. So good. I'm looking for one thing here. I'm trying to find something here that I saw earlier today. Of course, I didn't bookmark it. I didn't save it because I didn't think it would be something to talk about. You said Denny's though, and it reminded me of this. There was a meme going around today. Did you guys see it?
Oh, was it the chickens for KFC thing?
No. It was the waitress meme. Different waitresses in different restaurants. I don't know how to find it.
I don't know. I've seen a meme where like someone like shows like a skinny woman, it's like supermodel, and then just shows like a very beautiful, voluptuous woman. It goes like your average like Denny's worker or something like that.
No, this one.
I've seen that meme.
It was a black and white cartoon meme. I'm hoping it just comes up again right now, because I don't know how to surf. I don't know how to surf X Twitter. I don't know how to do it well, especially with this. I don't know how it would come up because I don't know who it was. I don't know where it was. It wasn't one of you. I don't know where it is, but it had basically 5 or I think it was 6 different waitresses, and they all had a different style to them, or different basically girl motif to them, and you have to choose them. And I just don't. It had a poll next to it. Shit, that's where I saw it. Had a poll next to it. I didn't take the poll.
Well, that's called a strip club, Adam.
No, a poll. Like choose which one. God damn it! Don't be a dermy. Don't be a dermy and do that.
Look, it was right there. I had to take that one.
God damn it! See, this is the problem with fucking X Twitter. I saw something and I didn't realize I should save it, and now I'm just getting the same shit over and over again. Other shit I saw today that I don't need. Terrible with this. All right, what is this? Oh, what? I'm trying to stall here, but I got nothing. Trying to stall. Well, okay, no, yeah, okay. There's Bugs tits from this morning. I already saw that.
Yeah, I love tits. You know, they were really great.
It's like again, I'm saying stuff I already saw today. I don't need that now. We already talked about the tits Bug showed.
Yeah,
bring that
every
up
morning, Bug shows his tits.
Yeah, every morning at 6 o'clock, I just show some titties, man. It's just ridiculous.
Just goes into the bathroom, takes a selfie in front of the mirror, and goes, "Here you go, guys.
Yep, here you go.
How you like them, fellas?"
Yeah, maybe if I'm feeling fancy, maybe I'll do like a thief. I don't know. I'll put like a hat on him or something.
Oh, come on. What is that? Oh my God. Okay, this is kind of okay. We could stop on this for a second. This is not your fuel.
What is it? Jeremy's face again?
No. This is for me. This is nightmare fuel. What the fuck, dude? This spider set was shot and killed the wasps one by one. Ugh.
Okay, I see a spider and wasp nest.
Dude, I'm an arachnophobe. And I freaking hate wasps. So
God.
this, gah.
I hate spiders.
What is that? Ugh.
That's clearly a fake thing.
Ooh. I got the pricklies looking at this right now. No. We're going away from this. Yeah, okay. Back to my scrolling. See if I can see if X Twitter will comply and show me the goddamn thing I saw earlier before this conversation goes too far away from it. I'm pathetic. I can't do YouTube anymore. I'm giving up. I'm stopping this whole thing. I'm gonna quit. I clearly cannot do this. I was not made to YouTube anymore. Oh, hello Zia, and barely wearing anything. Like that comes up. Whoa, okay, that's a chick with a big ass. Now here's the point. Now we're getting into either weird shit or nudity in the timeline, where it's like, here comes the weird shit, but here come the boobs. And
boobs are nice.
Boobs are nice. Oh, here's another. Have you guys been getting the Komodo dragon shit?
What's the Komodo dragon shit?
Okay,
I know what a Komodo dragon is.
I get these Komodo dragon. Again, I don't know why I get half the stuff I get on X Twitter. I mean, here's a Komodo dragon regurgitating a moray eel.
I don't know what are you following to get that?
I don't follow anything. Well, I guess it's something Jeremy did because he follows this shit, and I follow Jeremy. So I saw a Komodo dragon eat like a baby cow the other day. These things will eat anything.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just law of nature there. I don't know. That's not really the weirdest thing I've ever followed.
No, it's not weird. I'm just like, why am I seeing this? I mean,
I don't know. Twitter algorithms are strange. I don't know. Mine's not really anything surprising because they're the amount of filth I follow.
See, I don't follow the filth. The filth just seems to find its way onto my timeline.
I really dive into the filth. I'm just like,
it's because of you guys. That's why the filth gets on my timeline. It's you guys. You guys. Here it is. I found it. Ha. Okay, it was Horror Amarada that put it up there. Okay, so let me zoom in on it, and then I'll ask you guys. Obviously, you can see I haven't voted on it yet. Here we go. So, choose your restaurant. Indiana Jones Fazoli's. Okay. E-Girl Applebee's. MILF Denny's. Femboy Hooters.
There's
Tomboy. I know. I think without missing a beat. Yep, that's Jeremy's. Tomboy Outback or Goth IHOP. Now,
MILF Denny's.
Yeah, I'm gonna admit I'm torn between Goth IHOP and MILF Denny's. I'm torn.
I'm MILF Denny's.
Yeah.
See, I've been leaning more towards MILF Denny's all day. Every time it came by me, I was like, but Goth IHOP, she looks like I can fix her.
I can make her worse.
I can make her worse. I could fix her. No. But look at that. MILF Denny's isn't even on the list here. It's not even on the voting.
Yeah, I think you only get like 4 on the list for polls, which is kind of sucks.
I mean,
you think Elon would actually maybe like tweak that or like say, hey, instead of like one image you can only send in DMs, like we can let you send multiple. Instead, it's like, nah, we're just gonna change the logo and remove certain things that just didn't need to be removed. It's like,
Yeah, I'm thinking about that MILF Denny's right now. Although, they didn't give her bigger enough tits. If it's a MILF, that means she got to have big old MILF titties.
Yeah.
Can't. You gotta love a MILF and a moon over my hammies.
Yeah.
I don't know that goth girl. She's got a nice big stack of pancakes. Yeah.
She
also got daddy issues, so it's.
Don't call me daddy because I'm about to give her some more issues.
I'll help her with her daddy issues. Where's the no? Wendy's doesn't count. These are sit down places, not artery farms.
Yeah, they're not fast food joints.
I mean,
That's a whole nother category.
yeah. I mean, there should be one. I would like to see whoever did this put that up there. You know, give us a version of fast food joints. All right, let's play that game. All right, you've got McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. We'll say Carl's Jr. instead of Hardee's. And
Taco
what's a
Bell?
Taco Bell? Okay, we'll use Taco Bell. That's 5. Let's get a 6th one so we can match it up here. What's a in chat? You can play this game too. You can play this game too.
It is
What's a good 6th one?
Dairy Queen.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I
Does
Carl's
KFC
Jr.
technically count?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why sure? Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay, so we got. Let me write this down because I'm going to lose track of what we got. Let me open up a. Oops. All right, go away. I can YouTube. Let me open up a document because I'm going to write this down. We're going to play this game. And chat again. Chat, you are ready. You're. I might even make a poll. Let's get this going. Come on, load up. God, I swear to God, it takes so long to load sometimes. Here we go. Okay, so we got McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, what did we say? I said Carl's Jr., which is still Hardee's. Carl's Jr. / Hardee's. I'll say / Hardee's. Hardee's. What did we say? Taco Bell?
Yeah.
And KFC, I believe, was the last
And
one.
KFC. Okay. All right. Let's bring this up so that we can all share in this. And so we can always check. Okay. So, all right. So, no, nobody goes to A&W, Legatus. Nobody goes to
I
A&W.
love A&W.
No, you don't.
A&W just a soda.
No, they got a Papa Burger. It's freaking amazing.
No, Samuel, it has to be someplace all over the country. Culver's, there's no Culver's up where I am, so I can't give a. These places all have a version of themselves.
Fuck is a Culver's?
It's a hamburger place in the South.
Yeah.
Or south over to the West Coast. It's a hamburger place. All right, so we're looking at waitresses. I'm gonna be bad here because this might be my McDonald's 1980s coming to me, but I'm gonna say the Mongoloid.
Oh, so we just having some fucking.
We're gonna be
rash
bad
here.
here. We can't just because they always had them serving. They had them all over the place. All right. I won't be that mean. I'll take this seriously. All right. So what kind of let's say it's not a waitress, it's your counter server.
Right.
All right. So what we're gonna get so racist with this. I know we are. It's gonna get terrible.
Well, okay. So our first one's McDonald's.
Yeah. What do we
Well,
Who would be your server?
Yeah. Who's taking your order? Who's taking your order?
A large black lady.
Large black lady. Large black lady taking your order. Order with attitude.
Yes.
Attitude. Okay.
Talk about a Big Mac. Jesus Christ.
So at Burger King, let's get rid of this thing. I hate that.
A Big Michelle.
No, Burger King, usually you have a freckled face girl with no boobs and no ass. Burger King.
Yeah, that sounds like the Saints Row reboot.
God damn it. Face girl with no boobs.
No ass.
Boobs and no ass.
Built like a flapjack.
Now does she? What's her personality? Because I think that's how. Because we have to go with that. What's her personality? Is she shy? Reserved?
For which one again?
The freckle. We already freckle faced girl with no boobs and no ass at Burger King.
Unfortunately, she
So
usually
it's just the
doesn't have a
Burger King lady.
personality. That's one of her
No
problems.
personality.
No, she got no personality. She's like, the life has been sucked out of her already.
All right, Wendy's.
Wendy's girls are hot, man.
Wendy's girls.
I wouldn't know. I've never been in a fucking Wendy's.
I haven't been in a fast food joint in years, so this is I have no idea what to even expect anymore. I guess hot chick.
Crazy hot bitch.
Crazy, great.
Like she's hot, but she's also like crazy. Like she's clearly got like a skeleton in the closet.
Crazy hot chick. She will do things to you.
With a pink phone stuck in her back pocket that like barely fits in there. You just one fart away from shooting out her back pants.
No, she puts her phone in her bra. That's where she puts that thing.
Big titty.
She uses the bra pocket.
You. Cell phone of her bra. Okay. Carl's Jr.'s parties.
Chain
Hispanic.
smoker.
Hispanic.
I don't know. I don't really get Hispanics with my Carl's Jr.
Well, I'm here in California, so I get Hispanics at a lot of things.
My food servers are like usually either young high schoolers that have somewhat of like optimism in their life, or I get people that I get confused on whether or not they're male or female.
No.
All right, so what's now these are all girls, so though.
Yes.
All right, so what's
she's
her?
Hispanic, little pudgy,
Chain
way too
smoker.
much makeup. Yeah,
Little pudgy.
maybe well.
Much
Way too much makeup, and she
And,
usually has a piece of gum in, even though she's not supposed to.
Chewing gum, and did she ignore you?
Most of the time.
Okay.
I would
Well,
have said she had a
ignore
scowl on you, that she's just upset that you're there.
All right, so Taco Bell.
1,000-yard death stare.
I've seen some shit.
Well, I mean, literally seen some shit. I mean,
No, okay, no, all right. So, skinny white chick. Skinny white chick.
Gonna be skinny white chick.
Skinny white chick.
Very, very manly facial features.
Yeah.
Little butch.
Works at home, like shops at Home Depot.
Little butch. God damn it. Home Depot shopper. A 2-piece. Oh, 1-piece. No, 2-piece? Yeah, 2-piece. Home Depot shopper. 1,000-yard stare.
Never
There.
felt the touch of a man.
No, she despises the touch of a man.
Despises the touch of a man. There we go. Oh, KFC.
I feel so. Who's gonna be the one that says it?
Asian.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not where I thought it was gonna go, but okay.
Asian girl of unidentified origin. Because
constantly humming anime tunes.
No, she's like humming like some TikTok shit.
humming K-pop.
There you go. Humming
Ooh,
K-pop. There you go.
probably-
Humming K-pop. With a big smile on her face because they're gonna be happy. Smiles, but doesn't get your order right.
Yeah.
Smiles, but
Because she knows when she graduates
She's
college, she'll
always on
make
her
more money
phone.
than you'll ever see.
All right. All right. I don't know. Where do we go from here?
I mean, who's our?
So these are our choices. If you're gonna go to a fast food restaurant, you're gonna go to McDonald's with the large black woman who will take your order with attitude. Go to Burger King and have to deal with a freckle-faced girl who has no boobs, no ass, and no personality, and is probably dead inside. We should add that. Is probably dead inside. Oops. I hate it when I put my fingers on and they're not in the right spot when I start typing. Wendy's is a crazy hot chick. She will do things to you. Has a cell phone sticking out of her bra. The Carl's Jr. Hardy's Hispanic chick who's a little pudgy, wears too much makeup, and is chewing gum while ignoring you. The Taco Bell skinny white chick who's a little butch, shops at Home Depot with 1,000 yard stare and despises the touch of a man. And the KFC Asian girl of unidentified origin, humming K-pop. She'll smile at you, but will never get your order right.
So are we going there to have sex with the girls or the food?
Man, what's more likely to wind you up in the hospital?
Probably both. To be
you know what?
Because if I try to fuck the Home Depot lady, she's gonna put me in the hospital.
You know what? I think in the end, I'm gonna go back to the MILF at Denny's.
Yeah, it's like fuck this. We're going to Denny's, man.
We go through all the honestly. I'm gonna be honest. This was kind of what it was like in high school. We all decided where we're gonna go eat. What we're gonna do. We just want to go here, and in the end, we'd always end up at the crap local, not quite Italian place, which was a diner with the trainee waitress. I'd rather there was the Denny's with the MILF. I'd rather that. And
if it was the food and the girl, like I was trying to get the girl and the food, probably the one with the Spanish one, but that's just because I like Spanish girls. It's part of living in California. You're required to. But
you know what? Out of this list, the safest one, I think, I'm gonna go with KFC Asian girl of unidentified origin because she's clearly happy. Even though she's not gonna get my order right, I don't want to make her feel sad because she's so happy, and she might love me a long time. Oh, we're degenerates, and Dermy's not even here. All right,
we're just men of culture.
Men of culture. Oh my. Well, we've ranged into an area of the show we haven't done yet. This was a first. I told you guys I had no plan tonight. None at all. All right. Let me kill that. Right. Well, that was an interesting turn. And again, I've got it back up here. Yeah. MILF Denny's. MILF Denny's. That's where we go with that one. All right, let's kill that. All right, let's see if there's anything going on. Spark another conversation. Because again, I'm saving my top 10. We have it, but I have one, but I'm going to save it. What is this? Stop doing this. All right, let me check something here real quick. Oh, first thing I reload, it's a Dermy post. God damn it. I would those Pixar things. We did that on Ballbusters already.
Are you talking about those Pixar AI things?
Yeah, those are funny as shit. Yeah.
Pretty wild.
You're not wrong, Samuel. You're probably not wrong. the modern writer's room. Wow. You actually, you're right. The writer's room consists of the large black lady with attitude, the freckle-faced girl with no boobs, no personality, who's dead inside,
the Home Depot shopper,
the Home Depot lesbian, we'll just say it, the hot chick who really has no idea what she's doing there and will probably run out of the room, for being the hot chick, the pudgy Hispanic chick who is going to ignore everything and do whatever she wants to do, and the happy Asian girl who also isn't really sure why she's there, isn't going to do the job right. That's the modern, and they're all women. So that is your modern Western writing room. Samuel, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We stumbled onto something interesting here with that.
Oh. Okay.
All right. So I'm looking at this. Go ahead.
In the private chat, which Melee put that out. Okay. It fits.
All right, we'll look at that. We'll go with that. We're reaching here, so we're trying to stumble onto another topic. I go with that. I told you guys it was gonna be a rough night. Listen, the world at large has gone nuts, and we're trying to entertain you guys here, and while just talking about silly, stupid shit. Here's the thing: I only played 3 in Vice City. I never played any of the ones after that. So
I played Vice City. I played some of San Andreas. I've definitely played 4 and 5. And I definitely even played. I actually played Ballad of Gay Tony too.
Oh God, that was a game, wasn't it?
It was like a DLC expansion thing.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, I think I played them all except for 5.
All right. Let me ask you this though. So let's wait a second. The Grand Theft Auto franchise, has it gotten better or worse over time? Let me ask you that.
See the problem with that is like there hasn't been a new Grand Theft Auto for like 10 years. Like, because 5, I mean, like, I don't know if you heard the stories, but like 5 was supposed to have story DLC, but GTA Online made way more money than they ever thought. It became
a profit engine rather than a gaming thing.
Yeah, like it made way more money than they ever thought they would make, and like I mean, I think it was like what almost $1 billion a freaking year they were making off that thing. Like it was ridiculous.
Listen, if the whales are going to play it, you just do it. You can't fault them.
Yeah. For it. I mean, it's like they made money off it. It's like so they were going to do it. They milked it like they milked it. They milked that titty dry, you know.
Well, that's the thing then. I mean, now, again, I haven't played these. I haven't played it since Vice City, which was the 80s. I know San Andreas was supposed to be the 90s. And 4 and 5, did they continue going through the decades as the setting? Is that how it worked?
Pretty much. Like 4 was like kind of their attempt to be more like a little more grounded-ish, like a little less laid back, a little not as laid back, I guess, with characters. Like it was more grounded, a little bit more darker in terms of some of their characters, you know. But
oh look, my message tab is back up. Isn't that nice? Where'd that come from? Fucking X Twitter, dude. Anyway, that hasn't been there. Oh no, I'm on Chrome right now. Maybe that's why. Firefox, they hate Firefox sometimes. None of these things hate Firefox. Anyway, here's the thing. I lost interest in these games because it just felt like the same thing over and over again. At least for me. And I guess it just wasn't fulfilling in terms of a gaming experience. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not into these genres in the end. You know, I want something that's really story rich, but I also, I know these worlds are alive and they really are living this and that, but it's just it's always the same thing. Criminal this, criminal that. Drive around quick. Eventually, I'm going to get bored, and I'm going to see how big of a wanted How many wanted stars can I get? Because that's what I eventually just kept doing when I got bored with the games that I played. How many cops can I get chasing me? Can I get all the way to the FBI? Can I get that helicopter chasing me? That's what I did eventually. I don't know. Am I shortchanging these?
I mean, that's kind of their big appeal was like you could, like their sandbox, like just have fun with how things are in the game. You know, nothing inherently wrong about that.
That's the thing.
Just,
All right. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier, and I think I can equate this to movie franchises. I want to be excited for a video game franchise again.
Yeah.
yeah.
I listen. I love Final Fantasy, but 16 was barely a 7.5, 8 for me. It didn't break the mold. It got them. It was a moving in the right direction. Wasn't anything, but I don't have franchises anymore.
Yeah.
And a couple that are left, I'm scared. I'm scared of Dragon Age 4. I'm scared of Mass Effect 4. I'm scared. So
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even think I have. There was one franchise I was really big on, but nowadays it's like not really what it used to be, which was Assassin's Creed. That was.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's become horrible.
I've been watching Jed play that. That game's a nightmare.
What, the new one?
The new Mirage.
Ooh.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's
ugly.
Shit, I bought that so I could try it out because I thought this would be this was like my.
Go ahead.
I bought it because I figured like, okay, this is my last like stop. It's like if this does not do anything for me, then I think this is the point of where I could say, yeah, I'm gonna bow out of this now because the RPG stuff like at first was okay. Like Origins was like, all right, this is an interesting
it was
twist.
all right.
And then
my problem with Origins is why wasn't it just about Aya?
Yeah, I guess.
Bayek, he's a bystander in his own story.
Yeah, it was kind of weird how that worked. And, like a lot of these characters don't feel right, but like, yeah, the RPG stuff, like if Origins was okay. Odyssey, they like cranked it up like to 20.
Odyssey was cool because of the setting and the adventure of the whole world of all of Greece.
The setting didn't really last that much for me because it was like, although my playthrough was kind of fucked because
what did you do?
I picked Alexios.
Oh, see, I knew that Cassie was the canon, so I went with Cassie.
It wasn't a thing about canon. It was voice acting. I didn't realize this until later down the line, and it was like, oh, I made a grave error because like I've seen gameplay of Cassandra, and when she speaks, she's like way better, and then I'm like, oh god. Every time my guy talks, I'm like, oh,
they kind of crammed him in at the last second.
I've stopped playing it. I've stopped playing them. I can't. I didn't like. I don't like the format that they went to. It's not Assassin's Creed. You're not assassinating shit.
Mm-hmm.
The RPG stuff. Like you weren't even an assassin in those games. Like the first one is like
the beginnings of it all. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one's like, okay, you can kind of get away with it because it's like, oh, this is how the assassin starts. Like, okay, that's
but
fine.
Then going back to Odyssey is before that even starts, where it's the actual,
before that starts, it's
beginning
like,
beginning of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like before the beginning. It's like, what the fuck is this?
The thing is, as an
and
RPG player,
Valhalla, you weren't even an assassin. You were just an assassin.
I didn't play Valhalla.
Good friend. That's just what it was. Valhalla, you meet assassins and you do assassinations for them, but like you're not an assassin. You're just a really good friend, and it's just like, what the fuck.
I mean, I liked Odyssey because I liked the world. I mean, when I played it, I just went everywhere. Once I broke out of the after I cleared the first parts of the story, once I broke out and went everywhere. I did shit all out of order. And I had cleared so much of the map that by the time I went back to the story, I was able to fast travel everywhere, no problem. because that's what I always did in Assassin's Creed games. I always unlocked all the maps first so I could get everywhere quickly. But you're absolutely right. I mean, Jed and I, again, Jed is a huge Assassin's Creed fan, so he and I have talked about this, and I was watching him play Mirage last week, and according to him, it was all a lie.
Yeah, I remember seeing
the marketing for this was all a lie for Mirage. They said, "Oh, we're going to go back to we're going back to normal." No, it isn't. It's still not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I noticed this because I saw a clip where there's an ability you use where you literally just teleport to a guy and just kill him right then and there, like it was some like Shadow of War bullshit, and it was like, oh, well, that's a shame. Because I remember when the first game like brought out that first trailer and it had Altair with the crossbow, and they didn't put it in the game because people told them, yeah, that's technically not historically accurate because that crossbow would not be used at that time. And they were like, okay, we're not going to use it, and they didn't give them the crossbow. You know, like that was when they cared, and like now.
Well, the whole point of Assassin's Creed was you had to think stuff out. You had to say, okay, I need to assassinate this guy. How am I going to get to him? Okay, if I take the guy out on this tower, I can move down to this hay bale. Then when they come by on their patrol, I'll grab this guy. And you could slowly figure out your way to work it to kill the dude and not get caught before you did. Now it's just you get you power yourself up enough that you can run in there, slaughter everyone, and get to the guy as he's hiding in like the room. It's like that's not assassinating.
Yeah. Now here's
they got too addicted to like the power ups and like the super moves that make like no sense, and it's just like
I mean, now I came to the franchise late. I came back. I started playing in 2016 after I came back from China because this is one of the things I did while I was recuperating and I couldn't go anywhere. I burned through the first one as quickly as possible because the first one is it's very bare bones.
Yeah.
And the Ezio trilogy was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ezio was awesome. All three of those games were so great, so much fun. I was so invested in the first of the three that I got all 100 feathers from Mama. I got all 100 feathers from Mama. I wanted to get Mama out of her depression, and I was glad I did it. But then I did the second one, the third one. It was great. And now AC3, I hated AC3 because Connor was such a stick in the mud.
Yeah, AC3 was kind of a rough one.
It didn't flow well. Yeah, it was cool being the revolutionary, but it just didn't flow well. But then Black Flag.
Ooh, I love Black Flag.
Black Flag was so much fun. Black Flag was a lot of fun. That was just so cool. Then what was the one after that? The French Revolution one?
Unity.
Unity was okay. I didn't hate it. I liked Syndicate.
Ooh.
I had fun.
I didn't have fun with Syndicate.
Had fun with Evie and Jacob. I had a lot of fun with Evie and Jacob.
Oh, the one where they're in England and hell no.
Yeah,
I played it and I wouldn't do any of the missions for Marks. I was all like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" I was like, "Too bad you can't assassinate his ass."
I had that pissed off thinking, I could kill you and I could save the world a lot of trouble.
Yeah, like the because I played through all of them. It was a good time. I'd say the quality dropped right after like Unity because like Syndicate's combat I hated Syndicate's combat.
I really liked it.
It just was like a drastic change. It's like, okay, button mash, like dodge, like stab the guy 20 times because he happens to be like one level above you. And it's just
I liked it that there was the assassination parts and then there was the gang war part, and I dug all that. And then there were some missions that were literally Evie missions and some missions that were Jacob missions, and I would jump back and forth and I would have a good time with their stories. And then it really helped me because the final battle, you had to switch back and forth between them. And if I hadn't been playing as both of them, I would have been screwed because I wouldn't be comfortable with either one of them.
Well, yeah, the
I had fun
swapping
with it.
mechanic is fine. It's just like it was the combat itself was just I just didn't really like it. Like I understand like people were not big on like just counter kill everything, like, and that was where Unity I think was like the best the combat was ever gonna get because it like made things interesting, like like parrying or like dodging and doing all these other things, that made combat interesting and fun. Syndicate like brought that shit back down to like down, and then after that was like the freaking RPG games, which didn't really make it all that fun after that because it just turned it into a wannabe Dark Souls because every game wants to be Dark Souls for some fucking reason.
Yeah, I'd never played a Dark Souls game at that point, so to me they were just. I mean, Origins was an average action RPG that I was just playing because it was the next one in the series, and I wanted to get to Odyssey. And then I got to Odyssey, and I enjoyed Odyssey as a game and a story, even though I had problems with a couple of the story choices they made. And I was getting ready for Valhalla. I had burned myself out at that point, though. I'd played a bunch of them back to back at that point. I was really burned out, and I never even finished. What is it? Fate of Atlantis. I never finished that, even though I got it all on. I got the entire Fate of Atlantis on sale for just $15. So I got a really good deal on it.
I never bothered with their 3 DLCs after I beat the game.
Fate of Atlantis is apparently very epic, but
from what I've seen, it wasn't really that entertaining. Like the shit that was going on in those DLCs, I was like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything here. But yeah, after all that, yeah, it was just not for me. And I guess it seems like I'm going to be feeling more of that when I finally play Mirage because I did buy that.
I mean, I watched Jed play some Mirage last week, and it is not a fun game. The mechanics are janky. It's very bland. The character Basim, who I know is from Valhalla, is not somebody you want to in whose head you want to be, and you're not having fun being him. And all the controls for all the assassination apparently stupid, especially the combat. You can only win by parrying. You can't actually fight and win when you have to fight somebody. So the whole thing is. It's gone downhill, and I don't know if their choices for where they're going next is going to save anything. I hear one of them is going to be mobile. I hear the one where they're finally sending you to Japan, and it's going to be mobile. And I don't play mobile games.
Oh yeah, there was I think that was the Chinese one because that thing it was called Jade. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, because you're an assassin from China, and then because there's a mission where you apparently go and meet Cassandra in one of those missions. I guess I don't know. There's stuff they're trying to tease off for Assassin's Creed. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do.
I don't think they know where they're going with that franchise anymore.
I
don't think Ubisoft has it anymore. You got that stupid Star Wars Outlaws game coming out. That thing's going to be a bust. It's
going to be a thing, I guess. Like I know they have stuff they've announced because they had that like Ubisoft Forward where they announced a bunch of Assassin's Creed stuff. Like one of them was Mirage, one of them was Jade, and then they had another one. That two of them. One of them was like I guess sort of like a Blair Witch, Salem Witch Trials thing. I guess I don't know. Who the fuck knows, man? It's I don't know. It's like they don't know where to go, and like some of the stuff they like. Apparently, the stuff with like Juno and
they wrapped it up in a comic book.
Yeah, when I found out about
pissed me off.
Yeah, I found out about that. I was like, really? Like I went through like 5 games trying to solve that arc.
I got to 4. Hell, we were still dealing with Juno and Syndicate. And I finished Syndicate and I go to Origins and I'm like, wait a minute, what happened to Juno? And then I went to some research, and I discovered that the whole Juno thing ended in a comic book. I was like, "Fuck you! I've been fighting her for 4 games, dude."
Yeah, like it's just like, man, I went through all this trouble, and then like I lose the main protagonist of the series, and it's like I don't even get to like see the conclusion of it. I have to go to another form of media to see what happened.
It was so cool, and I really liked it in Syndicate when I went to the World War I setting, no, it was World War II setting, and then after you completed, Juno appears in the fucking sky and taunts your ass. And it's like, oh shit, it's Juno. And then she doesn't, and then we don't deal with it. That pissed me off. Yes, Jay Frazier, I have seen the models today. Well, there's the big. I've seen the Black Cat. The Felicia Hardy looks the same she did the last game. Fucking beautiful.
Okay, I was wondering like what they do. What did they do to her?
No, we've seen Felicia. She still looks fine, I think. But we've all seen this today. We've all seen this, unfortunately. The side characters of Spider-Man 2. There's plain Mary Jane. I had a problem with her look in the first game. I think they improved it slightly, but she's still not Mary Jane.
She has a big head.
I mean,
Thunderdome, Mary Jane.
I mean, why can't they make them hot?
I don't know what it is. And it's like, did you see the actual?
Yes, I've seen that. She's smoking hot.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like every time
they did the same thing with who played Aloy in Horizon Dawn.
Yeah, they did that to Aloy. They did that to some of the actresses in Mortal Kombat 1.
That Fable trailer?
Yeah, that thing. That abomination.
Man, dude. What's her name? Put out a video about that. The one who does works with Jeremy. What was she's Australian?
Melody?
No, Australian.
Oh, she Blabs. She hangs out. No, it's not Blabs. You know who Blabs is.
No. What is her name? Shit. She's good looking, black hair. She used to do that show with she used to do the show with Elijah on The Blaze.
So I know.
I never watched
anyway,
that,
so. She put out a video where she pointed out all the different girls in video games that they've just been uggifying. Mm-hmm. And it's all like, why? And it's because they want to normalize this. They don't want you're supposed to like a girl like that. You're supposed to like a girl that's plain and average and stuff. And it's not that any guy has a problem with that, but that's not what fantasy is or games or what, you're living vicariously through people who, you want the hot chick in the game. Sorry, you might not get her in real life, but
I want you just hit the jackpot, Tiger. I mean, she's not even a redhead here.
I feel like she was more redhead in the previous game.
But it's the whole stupid "where's her organs go" argument. It's fucking girls can be pretty.
Yes,
it's incredible.
Mary Jane,
you know what? I'm gonna
she's a
because of that organs thing. I'm gonna for my book. I'm gonna make a character with the most fattest fucking tits imaginable and just say "fuck you."
Well, within reason. Sometimes too much is a problem. Touching the ground. Let's not go so far.
Well, I'm not gonna do that. They're gonna be very noticeable. Like,
All right. Well, Samuel, you mentioned it earlier. You uggifying women in video games.
Mm-hmm.
You stated it's been going on for even longer than when we started that.
Oh yeah. They started when they put Felicia Day in the game.
Yeah, I mean, there were still beautiful women in Dragon Age or Dragon Age 2.
Yes, but she's not one of them.
Well, yeah. And then in the Dragon Age 3, they really uggified all the chicks in that one, except for Liliana, who you couldn't romance.
Yeah, that was irritating and
that's when I wanted to romance her. I wanted to romance her in that one.
Yeah, should have jumped on her and won.
Well, I did, depending on the playthrough. I jumped on
Yeah.
everybody in that.
Yeah.
I played that game.
Liliana is my one and true love in those games.
Oh, I see. I'm a Morgan man. I like my Witch of the Wild.
What's the? I like the one that's a gypsy or whatever her name is. She's fucking hot.
Gypsy?
Yeah, she's like a
You mean
pirate.
Morgan?
Oh, you mean Isabella?
Oh,
Isabella, yeah.
Oh yeah, wait,
Isabella,
Dragon
yeah.
Age 2. Oh,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
my pirate queen.
Oh, she's so hot.
You got this is probably a bit of a hot take, but I really liked Meryl.
Meryl's sweet. Meryl's sweet, but Isabella had giant tits.
Isabella did have giant tits, but Isabella did not have Meryl's innocence.
Yeah, but Isabella did come back.
In the third one, who was that crazy elf chick with the short blonde hair that was
Sarah.
psychotic? Oh god,
Sarah, yeah.
She sucks.
She's super gay too.
I think it's funny though that every single time you talk to her NPC one-on-one, it always gives you the option to just boot her the fuck out.
Oh, she was a horrible character though. I only kept her in because I can't kick characters out in the Dragon Age games. I must keep my party together. She
was a decent archer, but she like a pretty solid archer actually. But if you've got Varric, you don't need her.
Mm-hmm. Varric is just he's a killing machine.
Yeah, and he's funny.
Yes. And the best thing in Dragon Age 2 was the banter, especially between Isabella and Varric, talking about running her hands through his chest hair. It's like, it's funny. That's why you play those games half the time, because the banter between your party members is just classic.
Man, you remember some of the shit Zevran used to say to Alistair?
Yes.
It was the most
Zev is my
gay
boy.
shit ever.
Zev is awesome. One of my favorite things in every epilogue of Dragon Age Origins is you talk to Zevran and he says, "Yep, ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's go. I'll hang out with you some more. I got your back." It's like, yeah, Zev's going to come party with me, and it's going to be awesome.
I got to ask, did you ever take advantage of the gifts system?
How so?
Like given the appropriate gifts to make people hate you, like because everybody had like specific gifts that would make them love you, and specific gifts that were tailored to that character. Because other characters would take them and be like, "Yeah, what the fuck is this?" Yeah. And in Zevran's case, it was a chastity belt.
No, I never gave him the chastity belt.
Yeah, when you give him the chastity belt, a new item appears in your inventory, and it's the key to his chastity belt.
I can definitely say I'd never give a man a chastity belt.
Zevran would fuck anything that moved, gender, not regarding gender. He would fuck anything, and that's part of the charm.
Well, it was funny because it would like lower a bunch of his stats, but it would piss him off so much that it would also enable messy kills on his part.
Jeez.
And the only other character that I saw that you got like messy kills from a specific item was with the golem Shale. If you give the golem the uncrushable pigeon, and then instead of like crystal growths, it's covered in bird shit, and a pigeon is sitting on his shoulder, and it enables messy kills. I think it might have been DLC, man.
I had every DLC.
They're fucking great. There was one for Win called the Cat Lady's walking stick, and it smells vaguely of cat urine.
Okay, I never saw these. I've never seen these. I've never seen these. This is incredible.
You missed out. They were so much fucking fun. I've never seen these. There was a pair of footwear for Liliana that was made entirely out of iridescent insect parts, and they were extremely ugly. And you know how she is about fashion.
Yeah. Oh man. I see. I played the hell out of those games. Did you ever? All right, let me ask Samuel. Did you know the hack to get infinite gold in Origins?
I might have come across it at some point, but I don't think I ever took advantage of it.
I stumbled upon it my second playthrough. If you go to Redwall and do the whole thing there and defend the castle, all that stuff, and you convince everybody to fight. You know the fat innkeeper who's an asshole?
Yeah.
If he dies during that battle, then the cool barmaid takes over the inn, and she will sell you everything for free.
Really?
Yeah, you
No, I
can.
guess I didn't know about this.
And I used to farm crystals for shale, and I would sell her. You can basically sell her. You can sell her everything, and just
At a
make more
profit.
gold forever at a profit.
Yeah.
At a profit.
That's no, I was unaware of that.
Yeah, I would have hundreds of gold, and it's built into. It's not as though the game you broke the game. It's built into the game. If the dude dies,
man.
I would spend forever when I go to Redwall making sure that fat fuck dies, so that I can I can always just sell shit to her forever.
I would that would have been extremely useful with some of the higher end items later in the game.
Yep. So that's I usually go to Redwall first. Or I did for a long time, and so
it's a pretty it's a pretty logical starting point when you set out with the treaties and such to start recruiting. It's usually the best place to start because
then it branches. You don't have to go when the demon possession's happening. You can then go back with something else and come back. So you're going to go get the help to depossess the kiddo. But when you do the defense though, man, kill that fat fuck. Essentially infinite gold. You just go farm shale's crystals and just keep selling it to her and for full profit. It's fantastic.
Did you ever get the random encounter that ended up giving you the star ore sword?
Oh yeah, I would walk back. I got that my first playthrough, and every other playthrough after that, I would just keep walking it until I got it, so that I could get the star metal sword.
Yeah, it's I mean, first of all, it's one of the best fucking weapons in the game. But the encounter itself is hysterical.
Oh, Superman.
Yeah, it is. It's Superman in the Middle Ages.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I always went the route of the dual wield. So I'd have star metal sword in one hand, and God, what was the other one? It was some other super badass sword you would get in the game, long sword, and I was a killing machine in that. I love Origins. Origins was great. So much fun.
I think I played through every iteration in Origins just because it was so groundbreaking at the time, and it was such a cool system, and you like ultimately, your playthrough is dictated by your choices as you go through, but you more or less move through the same events. Just how those events come out are basically down to your choices. But the Origins part of it, the prologue, is vastly different depending on how you set your character up. And it gives you a very different perspective on events later in the game. It's a really cool way to do things.
Yeah, it was, and in the end, my favorite is still being the heir to.
Oh, the Kuzlins?
Yeah, Kuzlins. Yeah, the Kuzlin one is still my favorite one out of all of them.
Yeah, it's funny too because that's of all of the Origins, the Kuzlins are the only people in the backstories that don't come off like pieces of shit in someone else's backstory.
Yeah. Oh God. And the problem is though, I beat that thing on Nightmare mode all the way through, except for one DLC when you go into those dwarven ruins. I can never beat that one on hard mode.
The golems of Amgarak, I think.
Yeah. I could never beat that because the final boss, the way the fight is built, my melee tactics just don't work. I never could beat that on Nightmare mode. I only beat it on a mage mode.
I find that probably, like, obviously you've got different ways to set up your party. I mean, you got 4 characters, you can put in any order that you want. But for probably the most optimal setup, not just for storyline, but also for, just generally not dying. I usually went with a rogue or a mage for my character. For that, and then you'd want to have, like, obviously I would take like Wynn with me because she's a badass healer, because you need the month of life, and then Shale tanks and Ogren hits, and you want Shale and Ogren with you for the story as well.
Yeah, see, I usually went with generally. Well, actually, that DLC you didn't have your party. You had whoever was down there. You had DLC specific party on that one. Yeah, so I didn't have my real party for that. That's what pissed me off. No, I always used to go with fight depending. I mean,
no, I think you had your real party for Golems of Emberak. It was Awakenings where they made you switch up.
No, I didn't have my party for Golems of Emberak. I had some randos down there. I swear I didn't, because it was, if I'd had my real party, it wouldn't have been a problem. Because I usually,
man, you could be right. I haven't played the game in about a decade.
Oh yeah, it was Awakenings where you had a whole new party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's where they introduced Anders, which leads into the events of 2, which influences what happens in 3.
Yeah. Now, but generally, I always kind of went with what I love to do in Dragon Age games is I love to see who kind of, or Bioware games in general, who would really be in this particular adventure we're going on. Who would fit in there? Usually, if it's somebody's main story, yeah, you bring them along, and who's going to go with them. Like generally, I'd never have Liliana and Morgan in the party with each other after a certain point because they hate each other. So I'm not going to do that.
It's so much fun.
I know it's great. It's great stuff.
My main party usually either consisted of I usually have Liliana because I needed a rogue. And while I like Zevran, I like looking at Liliana better. I like the sound of her voice. And I know that sounds stupid, but she's also, if you level her correctly, she is a deadly archer.
Oh yeah.
And then and I mean, half the time she'd be fucking bullseyeing people before I got to them.
Well, what I did in Origins is I would set up kill zones. I would do pulls, and I'd have a kill zone, and I basically would lead the mobs into the zone, and then we would all just descend on them and just slaughter them.
Right. But I would usually have her and Morgan. Like if I was playing a warrior, for example, she'd be my rogue, and then I'd have 2 mages with me. It would be both Morgan and Wynn, because Morgan, has all of the DPS spells, and Wynn is a very, very good. She's like having a fucking constant potion.
Yeah. That's what made Dragon Age 2 so difficult, is that unless you were being the canonical mage, healing was a bitch in Dragon Age 2. And of course, Dragon Age 2, the combat was totally different, where you had to literally set up choke points.
Right. Well, it depended on how you played through. Like if I played through as a warrior most of the time with 2-handed, and at a certain point, like it's no longer a challenge. You just start mowing through fucking enemies.
True.
And the same problem with the mage, because they when they introduced Gravity Mage, man, I mean, it basically is nerf mode.
Yeah.
I played through it. There's no challenge after that.
I played Warrior the first time out. Of course, I had to stop halfway through, because when it first came out, there was that horrible slowdown bug, and I got it. So I had to wait till they fixed it. So then I went back, finished it Warrior. But every other future playthrough, I always did it as Mage, just because I wanted to be able to heal the party and not have Anders in the group. Because at some point, I couldn't fucking stand him.
Yeah, you get once you understand what's coming, like it becomes very difficult to keep him around, because you're just like, I can't fucking trust you, dude.
Yep. You motherfucker. Yeah. And so and of course, so I would just take what's her name, who was the tank in Dragon Age 2? Shit, don't remember her name. Watch check.
Yeah. That's Aveline.
Can't remember.
Aveline.
Thank you. Yeah, I would just, I'd know where we're gonna fight. I would just drop her down, lock her in place, and dude, she made Anders look like a pussy. I'm not Alistair. She made Alistair look like a pussy, because that chick could just take it in the face over and over again in Dragon Age.
Well, look at her face. It looks like like she has. It looked like somebody beat it flat with a shovel.
I know. She took it hard. But she was a fantastic tank, man. She just stood there, and what I would do is, it would be her, and I would just have either a back row of mages or a back row of range, or maybe 2 range, or I'd dump Isabella in the front, and she would just go crazy and murder shit. And it was just boom, easy mode.
See, for some of those characters, I would take them with me when it required it for the story, for their stories and how it tied in and all that stuff. Like with the whole missing cargo with Isabella, like obviously she has to be a part of all of that. But as far as like main party goes, like I didn't like Aveline as a party member. I liked her character just fine, and the same thing with Isabella. But I this is gonna sound a little gay. I kind of fell in love with Varric. Varric was with me at all times.
Oh well, yeah. He's your
And then,
dude. He's your. It's a bromance with Varric.
yeah, no, Varric's a fucking bad. He's probably one of the greatest characters in recent gaming, in my opinion. But yeah, I'd take him, and then usually Merrill and Anders, because I liked having two mages with me, unless I was playing as a mage, in which case I would drop one of them and put in somebody else. And I'm trying to remember who the fuck else we had in that game, because I don't remember
elf
using
dude.
Aveline.
You had the elf dude who.
Oh, right, Fenris.
Fenris,
Yeah, I
Fenris.
took Fenris with me quite a bit, actually. Yeah.
I just loved. To me, Dragon Age 2 had the best cast out of all three games far.
They were really good.
Their banter's great. Their stories are great. I would cycle everybody in and out because I just loved the cast. They were so much fun. Except for Anders, who can kiss my ass.
Right. Well, like one of my favorite things was the dialogue and the tension that was always between Fenris and Merrill, because he hated mages. She was a blood mage. They were both elves, but both of them had vastly different experiences, because she was Dalish and he was a fucking Tevinter slave.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stand each other, and it was very obvious, but some of their dialogue was so good.
Yeah, I love these games. I mean, geez, the only reason I haven't I have them, but they're all from my PS3, and I'd have to rehook that up. The only reason I haven't ever re-downloaded is because one, it's hard for me to get something I already freaking own again and re-download on the scene. But then again, some of the DLC, I don't want to replay to get a bunch of stuff.
Do you have Xbox?
No.
Because I was saying Game Pass, they have all of them for downloadable on Game Pass.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could get it. They're always on sale on Steam, so it's at some point they're always on sale. It's a temptation sometimes. Let's just say it's a real temptation.
I've got 3 on my PS4, and I will load it up every once in a while and just play through it again. But the other 2 I have on PS3.
Well, listen, I mean, some people. I know there's a large contingent who don't like 3. I loved Inquisition.
I thought it was a good game.
I had a lot of fun with it.
I did too.
I played it every single which way you could play it. My favorite playthrough was my second playthrough, where I chose an elf and I chose the slave, but I made myself a rogue. Man, her story that I created with her was fantastic, and I romanced the former our captain, who was the addict. I can't remember his name.
Yeah. He's in like all 3 games.
Yeah.
What the fuck is his name? Cullen. Yeah,
Cullen, yeah.
Cullen at the Tower of the Tower of the Circle in 1, and then he shows up as one of Meredith's guard commanders in Kirkwall in 2, and then here he is in 3. Yeah.
Your command. He's your general in 3. So when I was my elf rogue in Inquisition, I decided to romance him. Man, it was an incredible story. I mean, helping him fight his addiction was really deep. And then her character, the way I played her, it was just so cool. And what I loved is that I had the DLC, the Black Market, or not Black Market, the
Black Emporium.
Black Emporium, thank you. The Black Emporium, where it had the mirror of changing. So every time, and this is what I started doing this in Dragon Age 2 when they allowed it. Every time there was a time skip, I would change my look a little bit to denote it. And she just went from being all mousy and barely having it together to just being total freaking badass by the Act 3. And that was my best playthrough. And if I ever decide to do another one, I'm going to try and do something similar to that one, because it was just so cool. It was so exciting.
I usually play as a Canary Mage.
I did do a Canary Mage once. I did a Canary Mage, and I romanced the diplomat chick, whose name I haven't played it so long, I don't remember their names right now.
Well, like I really liked Sten in the first game, and you only get hints of Canary culture with him, because dude doesn't hardly speak at all, but when he does, and he gives you hints about the Qun and about Parval and so on. And you're just like, God, this seems really intriguing. I'd like to know more about this. And then, of course, with the second act of Dragon Age 2, you get a lot more about them, right up until you have to fight the Arashok. And then in 3, I'm like, they fucking gave me the choice to be a Canary fuck yeah, I'm going to see where this goes because I like the race. I like everything about them. I think.
How did you like the visual change to 2?
As far as the Canary go,
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. You know,
I was, it was just kind of, I'm like, okay, wow, okay, that's Kunari. Because
I
I'm
feel
watching
like they're
stuff.
yeah.
They didn't know going in. I'm like, who are these demon dudes? I don't know.
Right.
What are these guys?
That first trailer they put out with Hawk fighting the fucking Aeroshock, which by the
Yeah.
way was amazingly done.
But it lies to you. You never get that spell. You never get that spell as a
No,
mage.
no, you don't. Yeah, the other people do, which is irritating. But um, well, there is you do and you don't. There is a version of it in game, but it's not nearly as flashy as it was
Yeah, you
in
don't
that
get
trailer.
that kind of blood magic. You don't get
Yeah.
that.
But yeah, I didn't mind the change. I thought it was it kind of gave them a bit more of an interesting look. Obviously, the individual Canaries were more or less like cloned NPCs. I mean, you know, they had basically like 2 designs for them, with the exception
Yeah.
of the Aeroshock and the what the fuck was he called? The Silent Mage, the one that was chained up. I can't remember what they called them.
Neither do I.
Anyway, aside from them, they didn't really do much in terms of variance with that. But with the 2 of them, there was a lot of variance. And so I'm looking back at Sten and I'm like, I think it's possible that, yeah, you know, maybe they don't all have horns. You know, so I don't see Sten as necessarily a throwback in design so much as an individual.
I was gonna say, do we have ourselves a TOS Klingon versus TNG Klingon situation? We just don't talk about it.
Maybe, but he also had hair, you know, which
Yeah.
some of the Canary do and some don't. You know, so it just
Yeah.
it is what it is. And then when you get to 3 and you're able to build one, and the variety that you can do with the horns, again, you know, headcanon here, but I have no issue with the difference between how Sten looks and how they look in 2 and then 3.
Oh, neither do I. It was shocking to me. It's like, wait, they changed the design. I like it, but they changed the design.
My issue with it was so when Flemeth comes back in the prologue of 2, right? I love the design, but it's the same fucking hair. Like her hairstyle is done up exactly like the Aeroshock's horns. It's the same.
It's more like
the
her
same
horns
look.
is the dragon. It's more like it
Right.
mirrors her dragon horns.
Right. And then when you get into learning more about you know the different Canary peoples with Iron Bull in 3, he mentions that there was a people they were descended from who claimed to have been descended from dragons. So I think that tracks a little bit, but yeah, it's I don't know. I thought it was the variety of it was more interesting than if they had kept everything the same.
Well, I'm not disagreeing. It was just a shock to me, and so when I found, oh, okay, they changed it. I like it, and I guess we're just gonna say,
look badass in 2.
oh yeah, it looked great. And again, people shit on 2 a lot. I never did, even though I had the bad experience with the bugs in the beginning. I liked its design, and again, its
2's problem wasn't. Yeah, the 2's problem was the character's dialogue or story. 2's problem was more aesthetically when they were reusing the same like
the
3
repetition,
rooms, you know, and then a lot of people were upset that you stayed basically within the city and the surrounding areas rather than having a wide map to traverse like you did in Ferelden. And then again in 3 when they opened up Orlais, which was very cool and all that, but I didn't really have a problem because it felt like a more of a contained story, and obviously the events that unfold in Kirkwall are massively impactful.
Yeah. And again, I always enjoy it. And what sucks is though on my PS3, on my copy of Dragon Age 2, it's somehow damaged. The data on the disc is damaged because no matter what I do, whenever I play Nightmare Mode, it will never complete and give me my Nightmare Mode trophy. So
I think that's just a bug with the game because I've heard a lot of people have that issue.
Yep, it's bugged and they never fixed it.
Yeah, and that's
and
like
also I can't save after a certain point too. During the final battle in Kirkwall, I can never save after a certain point. It's either keep going or don't.
It got corrupted when you tried to get all those nude mods.
Hey, I'm on a PS3. I can't get nude mods.
Speaking of nude mods, just a little bit off topic. So speaking of the Black Emporium, what was y'all's favorite non usable item that you found in the Black Emporium. Mine was the box of screaming.
Mine, he has a particular. It comes a particular thing. Oh yeah, God, it's been so long. I mean, literally, it's been like 10 years since I last played this. Right now,
Yeah,
it's been
that's
10
my problem
years.
is I can remember like when you describe things and stuff, I can remember them, but I can't remember all the details and stuff. So
He
and
had
names I'm horrible with. So every time you guys are saying these names, I'm all, who was that again? Till you're
the
like,
guy
oh,
who
the
runs the
elf,
Black
and I'm all, oh, that's
Emporium.
right.
His banter while you're looking at shit is so funny.
He's
It's like
hilarious.
I love it.
Xenon the
Welcome.
Antiquarian. Yeah, he
Don't
I would
ask
have.
how that got there.
I don't know if I should speak for Dermy here, but if he had played those games, his would probably be the Urchin.
That's it. That was one of the urchin.
Mhm.
This is the urchin. Don't
Hands
ask.
off of the urchin.
That's
He is
it.
not
That's it.
for sale.
Thank you. All right, you got me there. That's my favorite one. Hands off the urchin.
If you keep
Yes.
talking to the urchin, he threatens you with the golem.
It wasn't
I love it's great.
the third game. Was it me or was it because that's the one I obviously remember the most because most recent I played. Was it really hard to get in like romances with people? Because I remember the first one and even I think the second one. It wasn't that hard to like one compliment. Some of them
Well,
would be into you, but in the third one, I'm pretty sure like both times I
Okay.
played through, I couldn't get the person I wanted.
in the
It
first
depended on
one,
the character.
I had it down where I could get Morgan to sex level in Camp 1.
Right, but if you do it that fast with Morgan, then you're not gonna have like a long lasting anything with her. She just gets pissy and fucking walks off.
Actually, well, no, I managed. I knew all the things at that point. I keep her all the way to the end where she's in love with me, and her DLC. I go with her through the mirror when we do that.
Mm.
But in 2, it's pretty straightforward. It's mission related, for the most part. You have to lock them in. 3, you have
Depends
to
on the
hit
character.
you have to hit the conversations at the right point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
like
depends on the character. So you got to keep up on their on like the personal conversations, and you got to keep
Yeah.
up with like where they are, where they're, how comfortable they are with sharing information with you. Some of them obviously will open up like pretty easy. Like Sarah's not that difficult to fuck, but Cassandra
That took a while.
has very specific parameters. What's her name? Josephine, the
It's
ambassador.
pretty easy. You have to talk
Yeah,
to
the
her.
one in
She-
the yellow dress. That's
Yeah.
the one I
Yeah.
was always trying to get with, and yeah, you couldn't get with that for nothing.
Well,
one
that's
actually,
because
I think there's
it's all dialogue with her because she's not a part of your party, so there's no gifts to give her and shit like that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
you have to have the right dialogue for her, and it has to, and like you can't fuck that up not once.
Yeah, see, when I was my Kunari mage, I romanced Josephine when I was my Kunari mage, and I pulled that off.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it depends. It depends on who they are. Like Iron Bull will sleep with either sex, but he doesn't necessarily sleep with every species.
And he'll also sleep with he'll also be gay for you if you want him to.
Yeah, he didn't give a shit what you are.
Yeah.
Except I don't think he likes dwarves. But other than that,
Oh, I did romance. I played a dwarf, female dwarf warrior at one point, and I romanced the fake warder guy. What was his shit? What was his name?
oh, Blackwall.
Blackwall. Yeah, I romanced Blackwall, and the game glitches out, and suddenly you're face level with him when he should be bending down to kiss you.
That's funny. I did manage to successfully romance the chick who greets you in each new area.
What?
Yeah, you can romance her too, but she is
Oh!
one of the most difficult ones to get, and
I didn't know
it's
that was
never
an
like
option.
consummated. It's never consummated on screen. It's there's a line of dialogue at a specific point in the epilogue where you know that you've done it. But yeah, she never like there's no like sex scene with her. But yeah, it's a very difficult one to romance. You basically got to be hitting on her constantly.
Let's see. The only one. All right, I haven't romanced Black Mage chick. I don't remember anybody's names anymore. This is terrible. I used to know everybody's names by heart. I just don't remember anymore. It's been so long.
Oh fuck. She's got no hair.
Yeah, that kind of throws. See, that's the thing. The bald thing. I'm not into bald chicks.
Yeah, the character design actually wasn't. I mean, she was pretty. She just I don't really
No
like the bald
hair.
thing either.
It's just it turns me off. It's like I'm not
Yeah.
like, and she's not a bad
That
character either. She has interesting stuff, and
that and aside from Liliana, I don't really like the Orlesians much.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, dude, what was the Tevinter, the gay Tevinter mage? What was his name again? Shit.
yeah. He's one of my staple fucking characters.
Oh,
in
he's
the main
awesome.
party.
He is my boy. And when I was a female character, I tried my best to see if I could turn him, and you can't. I can
No,
make
he's
you.
very gay.
He is super gay. He is super
But
gay.
he is also like if you befriend him, whether you're trying to romance him or not, I mean he's
Yeah.
ride or die. He's a
Yeah.
badass character.
And his storyline is great. I mean, wow, it's like we actually do a storyline where him and his father have their I'm gay discussion. And we can do this and not hate these characters if they're done well.
Yeah, I can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah, I should know his name. Because I don't remember. Yeah, see, my first playthrough ever, I chose the travel forward in time option where he was with me.
Oh,
And then Cole shows up like, oh, where'd you come from? And here's the funny thing. That confused the hell out of me because you have Cole, and my very first playthrough, I was bringing over my or I had used my, because you had to use what was then called the Dragon's Haven or something like that online because they had stopped carrying it over because they changed consoles. But my original warder's name was Cole. So every time it said go talk to Cole, I'm like, wait, my warder's here. Where's my warder? Okay, I kept getting confused. Pissed me. I'm so annoyed. But yeah, it's see, I love these games, and that's why I'm worried about Rise of the Dreadwolf. I'm just worried. I have fear.
Dorian.
There you go, Dorian. Dorian's
Yeah.
awesome.
Dorian's a fantastic character. That whole deal where you ended up sorry for spoiling the shit out of these games for people who haven't played them in the chat, but I mean,
dude, these games
they've been out for like
I
ever.
was gonna say you ain't played them by now.
It's been 15 years. It's been almost 20 years. It's fine.
You know, when you when you first go into to meet the mages and you end up getting sucked, into the time warp and all that shit.
Mhm.
And the bit where you find Liliana and she's just emaciated
Oh my god,
and full of
that
vengeance.
broke my heart.
It was one of those things, like you get to the end of that and pretty much no matter what you do, she's gonna kill the motherfucker.
Mhm.
Because they have been sucking on her life force to power this shit for like a year, and she's had it.
Yeah, and that made me want to romance her even more in that one, and it just pissed me off.
Mhm.
And I even heard the explanation, because their explanation was, "Well, we don't want it to mess with your warder from Dragon Age Origins." I'm like, "Fuck that, dude."
Okay, now see that's just dumb because she can die canonically in Dragon Age Origins. And her
Anybody
coming
can die,
back
yeah.
is explained with like some throwaway bullshit, hang a lantern on it nonsense. Like they did not really think that part through, and most of it's pretty well done and pretty well interconnected. But as far as Liliana showing back up, right? Also say is like, oh, the makeup brought me back.
Mhm.
If she died before, and so that's. I don't know, but yeah, I really enjoyed her arc because she goes from this sweet, kind of innocent person. I mean, you find out later she's not that innocent,
Oh
but
yeah.
she wants to be. But by the end of 3, she is this like jaded, hardcore bitch.
And what I loved it in Dragon Age 2 is if you can get to her in Dragon Age 2, and you can get to Zevran in Dragon Age 2, and if you played out both the side quests that got them, they show up in the final battle with your party.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
I hate to say it because they ruin everything. But Dragon Age, how deep and big the story is, would make for a good show.
They tried it actually. There's
Never heard of
a
that.
Netflix limited series. It's animated. Came out earlier this year, and it is
Oh, this I was gonna say you're talking about
horrendous.
I think you're talking about the Cassandra one from a few years ago.
No, I forget what this is called, but it's I watched it one night on a whim, and you can get through the whole thing in like a couple hours because it's like 20-minute episodes, and there's only 6 of them. But
Yeah.
um,
Oh, that's 2 hours. Yeah, that's 2 hours easy.
yeah, and it starts off okay, but it gets really deep in the intersectional feminist crap real quick.
Mm,
And
Oh,
which is
everyone's favorite.
it's a goddamn shame because there's actually elements of this that could have been fucking amazing, and there are parts of it that I actually really liked, but it's so bogged down with that other shit that anything of interest gets lost underneath it.
man.
Jeez. Why did they do
Uh,
this?
I hope Dread Wolf works. I always thought they were gonna go with BioWare having successfully made Star Wars: The Old Republic. I thought that Dragon Age was always ripe for an MMO setting too, with how vast Thetis is. And so
Well,
much
that was one of the plans for 4. They were gonna go, you know, games as a paid service with the MMO shit. That was the plan. Um, it's one of like 4 plans that have been completely scrapped. They've gone through at least 2 teams, entire
yeah.
teams, or they're gone now. Like the whole production
Some
of
of
this
them I'm
has been
glad they're
aired.
gone.
It's that's true, but it's the whole thing. The whole story of Dragon Age 4 up to this point is if Critical Drinker did production hell videos for games,
Mhm.
this would be prime for that.
It's been we were talking about this at some point last week. People talking about how long it's been since this, how long was it since with that. It's been a decade since we had a Dragon Age game now. It's been a decade. And
Yep.
and it's not as though we didn't know. It's not as though they left us without knowing if there was more story to tell. 3 ends with a massive cliffhanger. The Dread Wolf has risen.
I want to know what happens. I want to know what happens with Solus. I want to know what happens with the other. There are 3 archdemons left. I want to know if they're going to wake
Yeah,
up.
they
There's gonna be,
went
like, a
so far
climactic
away from the
anything.
archdemon stuff. And also, is Flemeth really dead? Did he really ace her right there? Did he draw all her essence out? Is
Like,
she really gone
and what
for good
happened
this
to the
time?
other elven gods, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know
Well,
they
he
say
tracked them all.
they say that, but I'm like, do they come back? Is there some? And since we're going to Tevinter, right?
Yeah.
And Tevinter's all about worshiping the old god, or at least they used to be. What if remnants of Corypheus's cult decide to wake up all 3 archdemons? I mean, like, I'm interested to see where this goes, but I'm afraid they're gonna bog it down in bullshit again.
That's the fear. It's like a bog with bullshit. There's so much to do, and I would here. This might be controversial, and everybody knowing how I think. My taste in this, if I have to sacrifice one of the 2 games for one to be better and one to be shit, I would sacrifice Mass Effect 4 for this to be good.
Agreed, hands down.
Because Mass Effect, Mass Effect can stay done at 3. It could stay done.
Yeah.
It reached its story's end, but there's still so much story to tell in the world of Thetis.
If Mass Effect 3 doesn't end on a cliffhanger, it ends on a final note.
Yeah.
Right? Dragon Age 3 ends on a goddamn cliffhanger. And I want to see what happens with that. I'm very curious for that. It gave me so many more questions than answers. It was like the end of Soul Reaver, actually. It was like, wait, what the fuck? Now I have to play the next one. And I've been looking forward to it because the world is so rich.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'm so afraid they're gonna have the wrong fucking people in charge. And we already know, because like BioWare's under fucking EA's thumb. There are gonna be problems,
There already were. The original one of the original runners for this was all talking about, oh, it's gonna be modern. I mean, granted, this is like 5 years ago. Or 4 years ago when he said this. I don't think that guy's there anymore. But it's going to tackle modern stuff. Don't worry. No, shut up. I don't think he's there anymore. That particular storyboard guy. But
it's funny too, because the guys who thought all this stuff up, who are also not there anymore, by the way.
Yeah.
they were talking about like how they looked at each of the Dragon Age games as like a different book of like the first 5 books of the Bible kind of thing. You know, like Origins is Genesis, for example,
Mhm.
and then Exodus is 2. You know, and 3 was I forget what comes after that. It's like Leviticus or some shit, and 4 was supposed to be the one after that. And there are parallels, you know. And I liked that idea. It was kind of interesting, but I think that when they sacked those guys, or I think actually the original creator guys, they walked because they didn't like the direction it was going. But
Mhm.
they kind of, it feels like they scrapped those ideas, which is a shame because there was a cohesiveness to that.
Mhm.
You know, it was a good idea. So
I'm-
I don't know.
No,
I'm sad.
No, yeah, I'm afraid. I'm not sad. I'm afraid. Yeah, here we go.
Well, because they started with the intersectional shit, like noticeably in 3. There's
Yeah.
stuff in there, which, to be fair, I was not really keyed into this at the time, so I didn't care all that much at the time. And even now, going back and playing it, a lot of the stuff like with Krem, for example, Krem is a woman who calls himself a dude,
Yeah, it was obvious.
right?
It was
But aside from a conversation that you have with Krem and then with Iron Bull, and their brief conversations, and
it's
they're
not a
entirely
part of the
optional,
story. Yeah,
it
it's
has
not
nothing to
there.
do with it. You know, Krem really the contribution that character makes is like whether or not you turn Bull from the Qun.
Which
You
I
know,
didn't for the first time, and he turned on me in the DLC.
yeah, because he's fucking loyal to the Qun.
Yep, I didn't know. I didn't finish his side story was the problem, and therefore I didn't know I didn't finish his personal story. So during the DLC, he turns on me. I'm like, "Bull, what are you doing?" Sorry, brother,
Yeah,
got to do it.
and even if you finish his side story, right? If you sacrifice his men,
Yeah,
he stays loyal to the Qun
yep.
because it was the necessary thing and the Qun called for it. But if you save them, then he becomes Tal Vashoth, and it throws him into a tizzy about it for a long time. But he's loyal to you at the end of the game. So
Yep. Yep. See, yeah. This if this goes on sale again this year, I might get it, which it probably will. It always goes on sale around holidays. Because
fucking great RPG.
well, it's just I don't think I'm ever going to play it. Well, I don't think I'll ever play it on my PS3 again.
Oh, I fire it up every once in a while.
I have nowhere to put the PS3, and I don't even think I have the
Shit, mine's
controller.
sitting directly below my 4. Like they're one of them stacked on top of the other.
Well, no, my 3 is in the closet. My 4 is operating as the media system for the TV in the living room.
I've still got a PS2 hooked up too.
I have a PS2. It's not even my original PS2. Where I have a PS2 in the closet. I don't even have my original. I don't even have my original memory cards anymore. They got lost. That pissed me off.
I wanted to get them for PlayStation 5, but they don't have them on the PS Store. At least they didn't when I was on there. So
yeah, they're not gonna
be backwards compatible. Yeah,
no, which is a goddamn shame, actually, because it's a good series.
Yeah,
better games than what they're putting out right now.
That's the thing. Dude, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Franchises, and that's why when I brought this up, I am. This is like this Mass Effect are the only franchises that ring true to me anymore, and I'm afraid for both of the next installments.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you guys, I was listening on my way home. Mr. Bug, you were talking about Assassin's Creed, man. Like the first, I'd say 5 or 6 games in that series were fantastic. But after that, I just like after Desmond Miles' story came to an end, I was done because I'm like, what the fuck is the point after this? I never even played Black Flag.
Yeah, like it's. I would say like I don't know. So far, as I've said, I think Mirage is my last like test. It's like if it doesn't go well for me there, I am gonna just pull the plug on it and just call it a day because I admittedly given this franchise more chances than I think it deserves, especially after the RPG trilogy, which was like at first it was an interesting experiment, then it quickly became a regret. It was like, oh no, this is a bad direction that we shouldn't have been going down. because we opened
Yeah.
Pandora's box of pure shit, and we can't close it. We can't unfuck that hooker. It's bad.
Yeah.
God, this is so good.
You know what else is also funny about Black Flag? Like, one of the reasons that everyone loves it is not just because it's like a good Assassin's Creed game, because it's like literally one of the best pirate games that not even Ubisoft can like replicate or do
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, upgrading my ship was so much fun.
Yeah, didn't they basically they took the bare bones of the ship combat from Assassin's Creed 3 and just basically expanded on that, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot funner on that. Like I remember when I was playing the Assassin's Creed 3, and yeah, I hated the ship combat. I thought it was shit. But in Black Flag, yeah, it was actually really fun.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this. I don't know. I thought the ship combat in 3 at the time was like it was fun. It was interesting. You know, like
It was pretty.
like it was the concept. But like Black Flag, like just was like, oh yeah, we're gonna like take this one thing that was like a side mission and we're gonna make a whole game around it. And it was like, ooh, it was perfect. You know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of you played Assassin's Creed Rogue, which was
No.
like, ooh. That one had a little bit more fun with the combat of ships. Like it tweaked some things out. Like, you know how like ships could board you now, and then they had like some different alterations to like the guns you could get to your ship and stuff. You know, it was nice stuff. Granted, it was also the reason why Unity was kind of bugged out as it was, because half the team was dedicated on making Rogue, and then the other half was on Unity. Which kind of sucks, because Rogue was an interesting concept. It was like, hey, let's play an assassin that becomes a Templar, and that's like your role. It's like, oh, that's not a terrible idea. It's
Well,
not.
are they still using the Animus idea?
I don't know what they're doing now.
The one on Valhalla, I don't know about the newest one, the Mirage, whatever it's called, but in Valhalla, didn't you you were somebody in a cabin in the woods? Because I didn't finish it.
Oh
But
yeah,
I do
okay,
remember
hold on,
there
give me
was
a
part of
second.
it.
Yeah, you were playing the new chick that they brought in to be like the replacement Desmond.
Yeah.
But then, and she was in like this weird like portable Animus. that
Her
she was-
own ghetto Animus that she made.
Yeah.
Wasn't she a Templar too?
She was working for Abstergo, then turns on him, something like that. Thing
Yeah, 'cause
was,
that-
she was
that
not
was-
that interesting at all.
That's why I never really got into Black Flag, because what I was hearing is like, oh well, we're gonna put a Templar in the Animus, and this guy's one of his ancestors, and I'm like, fuck that, man! I just spent 5 games killing those assholes. You know?
Yeah, but Edward
Yeah,
was
well,
awesome. Edward
yeah,
Kemper
well,
was awesome.
With what was it, Black Flag up until like Syndicate, what they did was they made it to where you didn't need to be a direct descendant to like view Animus memories, and they went with like not having a protagonist or like a silent protag.
You were a drone,
Yeah,
basically.
you were just an NPC drone that was just kind of there watching things, and
I don't like that. That was half the fun of the first 5 games, is because you weren't just playing these ancestor stories. You're playing Desmond's story too. You get to know Desmond. He was he was important to it, and then obviously his story comes to an end. But I liked Desmond Miles. I thought he was a great character. He got thrown into some shit way over his head, and he grew along with the games.
yeah, they couldn't replicate that, even when they tried to attempt it with a new protagonist that was nothing interesting. Like Origins, she was there, like that was just it. Odyssey, you saw her maybe once, twice in the main story, and then
Well, then they had to run into Cassie, that was so dumb to have that happen.
Yeah, but that was DLC though. You have to pay to see that.
Well,
shit.
I didn't pay anything. I got for $10. I got Game of the Year edition, so it was all there.
Yeah, you got Game of the Year edition. You got like a discount and deals. Other motherfuckers had to pay for that.
Yeah, so I got it way out of order before I even finished the game. so it pissed me off.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like you need DLC to see more of this protagonist that's supposed to be the new Desmond, and in Valhalla, well, they just do exactly what they did with Desmond. They just kill their ass off.
Yeah, if nobody cared.
Yeah, no one cared.
And
Once
that's
you
a
got rid of
problem.
Desmond, the modern day sections were no longer interesting.
Yeah, that's a problem. It was impactful when Desmond died. You know, you'd been with this guy, you'd been in the shit with this guy, and you'd been through everything he was going through. And when he bites it, it was just like, holy fuck, they just killed. Like, and if you got a new protagonist that you can just waste her and nobody gives a shit, like that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just could never figure. And it's like they could never figure out what the fuck they wanted to do with modern day. It's like, oh yeah, we'll have like little clippets of stuff happening to like maybe set like scenery or whatever, but it's like, well, it doesn't really mean anything because it's like, what the fuck's the point? Like, nothing matters because like we had a silent protagonist for like all the games that came after Assassin's Creed 3 up until Syndicate, and then you tried to do your RPG chick that mattered so little that no one gave a fuck. And it's like, what do you do now? There's nothing. Like, I don't know if they maybe, try to do a modern day Assassin's Creed thing. That could have been something, maybe, but nothing was there. And you want to know the Assassin's Creed people were like feeding off crumbs. The best they got for Assassin's Creed content was a DLC level in Watch Dogs 3.
Jeez.
Yeah, because they get a character that is actually an assassin because they've connected Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed are both in the same universe.
There's Assassin's Creed DLC in one of the Soul Calibur games and Monster Hunter World also.
Yeah. But those were like guest fighters type like things though. But
and costumes and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but for Watch Dogs, it was a whole ass like we got a level, we got a character, we're referencing all this stuff, and it's like that was the best they've got in terms of gameplay because it was like, this is like more Assassin's Creed than the last few mainline Assassin's Creed games, even though it was kind of goofy in a sense how it goes because it's like the assassin character is like, well, I'm kind of stuck in a bind. I need to take down the Templars, and they're also affiliated with the enemy organization that the Watch Dogs are facing, and Watch Dogs are like, oh yeah, we'll team up,
Not everything needs to be a goddamn shared universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
leave it in its thing.
Yeah, they could. Well, they did. Admittedly, they could. Admittedly, this was actually this was long established in the first Watch Dogs game because there's actually a mission, a side mission, like because in the first game you could do contracts, and one of them was you wipe out a character that actually happened to be in Black Flag, and there's even when you finish the contract you get a text message that says, "Oh, thank you for completing this with regards from the Brotherhood." It was supposed to be like an Easter egg, like, oh, haha.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, well, that was the thing they did. That was in Watch Dogs 1, which was like 2013, I think, when that came out. Something like that.
It feels like they've lost. They don't know what they're doing. Infinity, from what Jed told me, that game sounds like it's going to be a hot mess. It's because they don't know what kind of game to make anymore.
Yeah, they've lost the I don't word. Yeah, I was gonna say plot, but I don't know if that's the right word. But yeah, I don't know if they can bring that back and bring back Assassin's Creed.
Have you seen their Ubisoft Forward? They have like 5 different versions of Assassin's Creed. So they're literally just throwing everything at a wall. It's like, we'll do a mobile game. We'll do Mirage. We'll do something that's supposed to be in Japan. God knows what that's going to look like.
That's the mobile game.
The Jade one, right?
No, Jade is China.
Oh,
but
No. Jade is the mobile game in Japan, in China. That's the one. Japan is not the mobile game.
Oh,
None of that sounds interesting to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's getting convoluted. Or whatever we call it.
You know what? Yeah, everyone wanted a freaking Assassin's Creed in Japan, and we reached the point where it's not even tickling anyone's fancy anymore.
yeah. We had Ghost of Tsushima, so I mean, hey,
Goddamn, Ghost of Tsushima was a beautiful game.
I still
That's
need
a
to finish
fucking
it.
fantastic game. Really?
Well, I'm playing it for member channel, so
Hmm.
I have to set up everything to record it a certain way, and it takes when I do it, it takes up like 300 gigs every time I do one of those. So I have to make sure I've got enough room for it, and then I have to edit it immediately. So,
Oh, fair enough. Yeah,
it's-
no, it is a solid game, and it had
I'm halfway through it.
really good story.
Oh yeah, it's
Ooh.
awesome.
Oh, you definitely need to play the Iki Island DLC when you're
Oh,
done.
I've got it on there. Yeah, I mean, I got Game of the Year edition, Director's Cut.
I
got
haven't
Director's Cut.
finished that, but I did start it.
Yeah, so I'll get to it. Well, Samuel, I'm glad you're here now because we do have something else. Last night we had fun on Get Rank. We were no. This is related to this last night because this popped up today. Last night on Get Rank, you know I'm going to do this to you. Come on. We talked Sylvester Stallone movies last night, and we talked a lot about Rocky. Had a lot of good things about Rocky. So today, I saw this. 10 harsh realities of rewatching the original 6 Rocky movies.
Oh.
Original 6, you mean
Okay.
5?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, there's 5 Rocky movies.
It's 5. One of them didn't happen. So we're going to go through this. Some of them, it's going to have a moment of clock being right twice, at least once here. We will agree with one thing, but then they're going to get it wrong completely. Franchise peaked with the first Rocky movie.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well,
In fact, I think I said much the opposite yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not these movies aren't. It's not a franchise. You can't look at it like a movie with a bunch of sequels because that's not what it is. It's chapters in a single story about a man's life.
And that's a great way
And
to put it.
sometimes he has high, he ends on a high note, sometimes he ends on a low note, just like life. You're going through this with Rocky. So that's a completely fucking disingenuous statement.
And they make it disingenuous. Shot on a modest budget, the raw and authentic feel of the movie only contributes to its relatable charm. While later entries had their moments, the original Rocky's unique combination of storytelling, character development, and Stallone's compelling performance set an essentially high standard that none of the sequels truly surpassed. And I completely disagree with that.
I think Rocky Balboa is if it's not. I don't think any one of them I would place above Rocky. I think Rocky is a fantastic movie, but Rocky Balboa is it's pretty close to on par with that. Rocky 3 is up there. Rocky, Rocky 2 is a little lower, but it's still pretty good.
The only one we put up there in S tier last night was 4 with Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only one we put up there for reasons, and they're going to take their time to shit on 4 here. Rocky Balboa is a terrible boxer.
I dare you. You who wrote this article, get in the fucking ring. See how you do.
Yeah, like I don't. How does that work?
Well, Rocky Balboa's fighting style is characterized by taking numerous hits, which simply isn't a sound strategy for long-term success in this sport.
Oh, they don't know fuck all about fighting. I told you that I used to be a cage fighter, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Like sometimes the safest thing to do is to take some lumps and wear the other guy out.
Yep.
Period. Sometimes that's the only way you're going to go to the distance because, you get your guard up and you take those hits and you roll with them as best as you can. And yeah, there's a risk that you're going to end up losing that way, but you do that because otherwise you're opening yourself up to a guy who hits like a fucking train. And if you give him the opportunity, fight's over.
Yeah. And they obviously get this wrong here. You just broke that down. Boxer absorbs as much punishment as Rocky does throughout the original series, would likely face severe consequences in terms of health and career longevity. Moreover, Rocky has limited technical skills compared to more proficient boxers. Wasn't Rocky 3 all about Apollo teaching Rocky how to basically be mobile in the ring?
Yeah.
Just stand there.
that's the whole thing. Is he starts off as just a punching bag essentially, but he grows through this series. He gets better and gets more technical. And yeah, in the third one, he's trained by Apollo to be fast and agile because that's how you counter Clubber Lang. And then in the third one, he has to, I think, put just like as much muscle on as he can because he has to be able to compete with the bombs that's going to be thrown by Drago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as the health and career longevity, like they addressed that in the fucking series too.
Mhm. Yeah. So they get it wrong here again. They get it wrong again. It's almost as if they didn't even watch the movies, huh?
Yeah.
Rocky and Adrian's first date is problematic.
No, it's not. You people who write this shit are just pussies.
It's called, putting the moves on a girl. That's what it is. And she's completely receptive. In the said scenes, Rocky takes Adrian to his apartment, and despite her initial reluctance and discomfort, he persuades her to stay. Many critics argue that the power dynamics are
shut the fuck up.
I know. With Rocky exerting pressure on Adrian to stay in his apartment, creating an uncomfortable situation. In a modern context, this scene might be viewed through the lens of consent and agency, highlighting concerns about boundaries and respectful behavior.
I want to die, Adam.
Why do you put us through this?
Because it's hour 3. That's why.
They've
Hour 3.
These assholes, I guarantee these are the same kinds of assholes who'd be the first person to start throwing around words like incel at people who criticize them.
Yeah.
But they've obviously never courted a woman ever.
Yeah.
And
because you have to make a move, and it's a give and take. It's a goddamn dance.
And
especially when you're as shy as her.
And Rocky's not a son of a bitch. If she had said no, he would have stepped aside and let her leave.
Yeah.
Because he's not a scumbag. So again, they love to
rough,
do this.
But he wasn't he was rough around the edges, but so was everybody else she fucking had in her life.
Yeah. Look at her brother.
Right?
You don't get more fucking rough than Paulie.
Paulie.
Okay, now I said this yesterday. Rocky 4 is Cold War propaganda, but it's good Cold War propaganda. USA, baby.
I think we should force these guys to sit down, tape their eyelids open and make them watch Miracle on Ice over and over again.
Oh, I love that movie.
True story too. But yeah, of course it's a propaganda film. We were in the height of the fucking Cold War.
Yeah. Apart from how unrealistic Rocky 4 is, it's also been criticized for its heavy use of Cold War propaganda. Released at the height of tensions between the US and the Soviet Union, Rocky 4 pits Rocky against Soviet super athlete Ivan Drago. The narrative not only exalts the American way of life, fuck you, you commie pieces of shit, but also demonizes the Soviet Union and its athletes. What part of that was untrue?
Because they were bad. They used to beat the shit out of the athletes' families if they didn't perform well.
And they
would
juiced
starve
the
them.
hell out of them. They were genetically older freaks.
Yeah. They hurt people to get one up on other countries in the Olympics. The whole history of the Soviet Union in sporting is fucked up.
The film's portrayal of the Cold War rivalry is too simplistic and lacks nuance, painting a one-sided picture of heroism. Fuck you, you commie assholes. Fuck you.
I bet if it was made in Russia and it was the other way around, these guys would be fucking, well, not right at the moment. They'd be like, oh, it's Russian, it's bad. But at the time, they would have been like, oh yeah, no, they were right to criticize the U.S. I bet these motherfuckers don't even get the fucking subtext in Godzilla. Or Gojira, rather, 1954, right? Which is all about anti-nukes and anti-fucking West, because we had just nuked them 9 years before.
Yep. It's called history, and they're allowed to comment on it. And the exaggerated nationalist imagery, dude. Living in America, James Brown. That seems fucking epic. Giant bull breaking apart, hardest working man in show business, dude.
I'll agree with the fact that they call it out. Yeah, it was a product of the time. At
Yeah.
that time, we were in a Cold War with fucking Russia, with the USSR. That was what was going on at the time. It's relevant to the time that it was fucking made in.
And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. And by the way, go USA. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, USA baby. So fucking commie bitches. Fuck you. True. See,
That's true.
Clock right first time. Rocky 5 nearly killed the franchise. Yes, we made this point last night. That movie doesn't exist. It's bad. Right. It ruins a lot of shit. For not only between, it doesn't make any sense in the timeline, because how does this kid go from being 8 years old to a teenager overnight? I don't get that. and who the fuck lets Paulie manage your money?
Well, it was Rocky 5 was mostly a product of Stallone at that time, like due to the success of those films, and he was starting to become like internationally recognized and all that stuff, and he let it go to his head, and he's talked about this. He's admitted that. He's like, I let it get to me. I let it go to my head, and I thought I could do no wrong, and my shit didn't stink. And I just like, I wanted to make this movie just for, because I wanted to, and I wanted to do it how I wanted to. And as it turns out, it wasn't good.
Well, that takes balls to admit that.
Yeah. Well, Stallone's a pretty stand-up guy.
Yeah. And this movie was garbage, and we all agreed it doesn't exist last night. So
yeah,
they are right here. It's correct. And not for the reasons they talk about, though. It's just bad all around. You don't need iconic characters. It just wasn't good, plain and simple. The sequels are nothing like the original. Samuel, you've already made a great comparison on how you should look at these as chapters and not sequels, and that is the bit. I mean, you said it last night. You said it again today. That's the first time I ever heard it presented like that, and I agree completely with your layout of this. Of looking at it like this.
Yeah, because I'm right.
Yeah, you're all right. You're right. I really like that looking at the franchise like that.
Well, it's like I was saying yesterday, going off what Samuel was saying, is each of the parts of it, each of them is a struggle that kind of attaches to a struggle men go through, right? You have the first one that you're talking about, trying to get that shot, trying to get that opportunity to show what you have for people to see what Then you have the second one. What happens after you achieve that? What happens after you do get that shot? And what do you do with the aftermath of that? Then you have the third one, when you're faced with your failures, that you've achieved, you've done your stuff, but now you've had a failure, and can you get back up from that? Then you have the fourth one. What do you deal with when you have regrets and you feel guilty about stuff, and so each of them kind of deal with these things that men go through in different ways. And so, like you said, you have to look at them as their own stories, because they're all chapters, not just one thing into the other.
And I've never seen the director's cut of Rocky 4. I know it was released recently. Somebody in the chat last night on Get Ranked said it didn't really add anything to it. I have my copy of 4 on the shelf, and this year we are watching it as a Christmas movie for drive-in this year. We're going to do that. I'm making sure that happens.
Not every movie needs a director's cut, to be honest.
Some work, some don't. Some work, some don't. You're right about that. So no, I have not seen it. All right. So yeah, Samuel's interpretation is a very good one, and I'm applying that from now on. I like it that much. Rocky forgets his own injuries. Rocky sustained significant damage to his eye during his rematch with Apollo in Rocky 2, leading to development of an eye condition that becomes a recurring theme in the series. Meanwhile, in the fight against Drago, Rocky suffers severe head trauma from substantial amount of blows to the head. In fact, this was also when Dolph Lundgren sent Stallone to the hospital. Yeah, you guys know that story, right? Where he took an actual hit and it knocked him the fuck out during filming.
Dolph Lundgren did, or
no? Stallone took an actual hit from Lundgren and it knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah, Lundgren's a big boy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he really meant it when he said, "I must break you."
Yeah, I mean, and Lundgren was so upset about it. The story goes he was so upset, but yes, he took a real hit. Moreover, Rocky also gets brain injury in 5, which didn't happen. Despite all this, Rocky simply gets a clean bill of health with every sequel, which only exacerbates criticisms about Rocky movies being unrealistic.
Okay, so there is between some of the movies, some time passes. You know, and obviously, like you were saying with Rocky 5, like they aged up the kid too fast, but there was a period of time between 4 and 5. And there was an even greater period of time between 5 and Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
You know, because at that point, you know, his kid's an adult and all that stuff. And
they just did a
he's
bad job in 5
I-
of showing the time lapse. It doesn't
right,
make any
but
sense.
I don't think that they forgot about his repeated sustained head injuries, because in Rocky Balboa, he's punch drunk like a motherfucker, and he talks about that. You know, about how he's not what he was. You know, how he took too many hits, and you know, so no, they didn't forget about that. As it turns out, you can get punched in the face a bunch of times and be more or less healed up in a couple of weeks, except maybe internally. And I say this as somebody who's done that. You know, like, yeah, you take your hits, and yes, you have to heal, but it doesn't take as long as these fucking idiots think.
And also, if I remember correctly, in Balboa, he shouldn't have won that fight or gotten that far as good, because the only reason he got that far in that fight is because the opponent hurt his hand during the fight, but he kept going, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think he won in Rocky Balboa. I think it just like with the first one, it came to a draw, didn't it? But everyone expected him to lose first round, so that was the achievement, that at his age he was still able to hold his own and make it the distance.
The kid he was fighting in one or in Rocky Balboa was I think he comes out ahead on technical points. And you know, because like at the end of the fight, he goes up to him, he hugs the kid, and he's like, "Man, you hit like a truck," you know, well done, and all that shit. I mean, because he was glad for the experience, and he managed to go longer than everybody expected him to do. And it was supposed to sort of mirror the first one.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are people. I think what we have here is a case of unrealistic. When I say this about the people writing this article, they don't have a realistic understanding of what this stuff can really be like. Because I don't know, Stallone took this shit pretty seriously when he put these together. You know,
Yeah,
because he's into boxing.
And you have to, it's a movie. You have to suspend a little bit of reality here. I mean, Rocky Balboa, there's not a sanctioning board in the whole world that would put a 5 or what? How old was he supposed to be in that, against a 27-year-old, you know, at the top of his game? They just wouldn't.
Yeah.
No matter how much he asked for it, no matter how much he pleaded with them, they'd be like, no.
No, there's no way that would have been a legal or sanctioned fight. Now, there are ways that would have happened, but none of that would have been above board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because basically, if they put him in a ring with a kid like that, one of two things is going to happen. One of them is going to hit the other one hard enough to kill him.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that goes, because you know, the old man does not have the energy or the stamina or the wherewithal to last in a fight. And the thing about old men who are fighters, because they know that they're not going to fuck around with ducking and weaving. They'll just kill you.
Yeah, and you can see it with the MMAs. Like, all the fighters in MMA that go just that little bit past where they should, they end up just losing to people who a couple years before they'd have massacred. Like I think Ken Shamrock had a couple fights like that where he was all like, "You should retire." He's all, "Oh no, I want one more fight," and he got like just beat by somebody who, like I said, a couple years before he'd probably killed.
Right. I mean, a great example of that is when Chuck Liddell was trying to make his comeback and went up against Rampage Jackson. And I mean, personally, I think that was a bullshit call, but there was no way that fight was going to go on a whole lot longer, because Rampage had him beat in, you know, he was in better shape. He was younger. You know, he was just in better peak condition than Chuck Liddell was. Chuck was always going to lose that unless he got a really solid fucking punch in. The call actually that ended that fight was complete bullshit, though.
It's not anime where the old dude is going to be awesome.
Yeah, the safe master.
Still would. I you know what is as much as Liddell should not have gotten in the ring with Jackson, I would never put myself in the way of one of Liddell's punches.
Oh, that's not what I mean.
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
saying,
absolutely.
Yeah,
like,
they call him the
old man
Iceman
trope.
for a fucking reason.
All right, so
Yeah.
okay, here we are again. We actually said this last night on Get Ranked. Here's the other broken clock being read again. Franchise ignored a perfect ending with Rocky 4. We actually said it last night. It could have ended at 4 and
Yep.
it would have been great.
Yep, exactly.
It didn't need to go forward. And
Yep.
so they are right here. They're correct. It would have been great. Rocky's ultimate victory, avenges his friend, wins the Cold War, and and it is awesome. Balboa was on a perfect franchise finale. Yeah, we've made this case too. Okay, so wow, it actually got something right 3 times because it should have ended here too.
I agree. Rocky Balboa was an excellent finale to the series.
Yeah.
And it would have made more sense as a movie if it was connected. If you got rid of 5, if it was you went to 4 to Rocky Balboa, because at the end it would have gave in Rocky Balboa, him and his son are estranged. They have those issues with each other, and you have to figure out why. But at the end of 5, him and his son have such a good relationship and shit because of the fight in the street and stuff. So it's all like, so what happened between those two that it became bad, when at the end of 4, it would have made more sense. You would have had more, why is his relationship bad with his son, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
See what I'm
And
saying?
you could think of Rocky Balboa as kind of paving over Rocky 5, because like the whole point of that movie was Stallone was like, I'm not happy with 5. I know I fucked up. Let me try and make it right. And that's where Rocky Balboa comes from.
It's very easy to ignore 5 completely.
Yeah.
It really is.
And you can
It really is. Yep.
watch 1 through 4 and then skip to Rocky Balboa, and it still works.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. All right, number 1, Creed movies are so much better.
Oh, shut the
Oh,
fuck up.
kiss my dick.
Hey,
But
Black.
the first one was a solid flick. It was, but after that, diminishing returns.
There are many differences between Creed and Rocky, but the bottom line is that the Creed movies are superior in almost every way. Combined with Creed series' more nuanced storytelling. What the hell? Fuck that. Michael B. Jordan's Adonis Creed brings depth and authenticity that elevates character beyond a traditional underdog archetype. Why? Because he's black? Did I just said it. That's their reasoning here.
Oh,
Basically, yeah. And they're also conveniently ignoring the other major black characters in the series this way.
Yeah.
Like Adonis's father, Apollo.
Yeah. Well, look
who
at the
was
next
a
line.
very good and nuanced character.
Look at this line. The inclusive cast and diverse perspectives
Fuck off.
contribute to a more reflective representation of society, introducing contemporary themes and exploring issues of identity, family, and legacy.
Fuck
Oh,
off.
Fuck
Not
off.
everything needs to not everything
Mm.
needs to reflect society. Fuck off with your contemporary. Wipe my balls with it, you fucks.
I'm gonna say something that's like probably gonna I hope it doesn't get anybody in trouble here. But how is a 97% representation on screen of 13% of the fucking population like at all realistic?
Yeah. Well, that's
Because they
exactly.
see themselves now. That's why.
And this is an argument. This is bullshit because they're sitting there trying to say, "Oh, this is our." I say 96%, 97% of the fan base of Rocky would adamantly disagree with this. But you, who are they're obviously not a fan of Rocky, your opinion matters more than theirs. You've solved the puzzle. Those 97% of Rocky fans, they're just idiots because you've seen the light, right? No one I could ever think of who likes Rocky would say, "Oh, the Creeds are so much better." That is such a bullshit take from somebody who is not a fan of Rocky at all.
Not only that, Devil, you're absolutely right. But the fan base of the Rocky movies, right, of the Rocky character is diverse.
Yeah.
Always has been.
Spans generations.
He inspires people, period, full stop. No qualifiers needed.
I guarantee. Go back and watch Rocky 1 when he's running through the streets. I guarantee that's a good. I can't see it in memory right now. 'Cause it's been a while since I saw the scene, but I bet all the people running behind him, all the kids, I bet there's a pretty diverse group of people following him around there.
Yep.
Because Rocky's
there are.
inspirational.
And I mean, he's in Philadelphia, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, Philadelphia is a pretty freaking diverse town. Always has been.
Yeah.
You know, there are large populations of people there who are not white people. You know, like and you know what they do? They just go about their lives being people.
So Peter Muttuck here spent this whole list just to get that one point to tell us that Creed is better.
Yeah.
Peter Muttuck, you are a fucking retard.
Right.
Well, that's
I'll
why he
leave with
starts.
that.
He starts with that headline like of watching the original 6 Rocky movies. You know, because the original 6 doesn't include the Creed movies.
Nope. Yep. Oh man. All right. There was the 10 or the obligatory top 10. I was worried I wasn't going to find one, but then this dropped into my lap this afternoon. And
I'm
I
starting to
said,
feel like you're trying to tailor these to piss me off.
dude, it dropped. I didn't have one. I didn't have a 10 list this week, and then that dropped in my lap this afternoon. And I thought, wow, that's pretty.
You know,
That's good coincidence considering we actually had this discussion last night. So I thought,
freaking
damn.
Dermy making me watch Ahsoka. I was all, man, how could somebody do this to people, make them watch shit? And he got it from his dad.
Hey, hey, I am not the father of that. I simply found him on the street and let him in for a little while, and then I kicked him back out. And I didn't.
That
I
makes
didn't
you responsible for him.
I didn't raise that. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna end it up here. It's over 3 hour mark, which is I'm always happy we made it here. It was a bit we had a rough one tonight, but we powered through. We found our nerd hole. We had our top 10, and we made Samuel die a little bit inside, which is important.
Every goddamn week, Adam.
hey, I like I said, I almost didn't have one this week, and you almost got in and out of it, but it happened, and it's gonna happen again. Anyway, all right. Thanks to Bug, Samuel, and Devil for hanging out with us tonight. Chat, thank you also for being here, having a good time. Remember, guys, if you have a good time, hit that like button. Check out the channel. I will update the description below with everybody's channels later before night's over. And if you're watching on the replay, also hit that like button. And we will see you next week with another edition of us just fucking around, because that's what we do here. And until then, guys, take it easy. Have a good night or day wherever you may be.
Yay.